bottom right yet. Oh, here, I think it's popping up.
It says going
Pretty sure
live.
podcasts should be done like this now.
Yes,
Just do them
They
live
should
over
be.
Twitch, and then you can.
Yeah, I see it.
Oh, and he shares his screen.
Yes.
Look at this.
Is it working now?
Yeah.
I'll have to log in to Twitch in a separate window.
I see the output on mine, so it should be working.
Yeah, I see it on mine too.
Beautiful. All right. Showing the draft screen for you guys.
All right, I'm logged in. Let's see. Yes, good.
Important notes.
You and your fucking notepads.
You changed Donald's hair? Looks like gay boy now.
It changed Darnold's hair. That's the hair that he came with.
All right, here we go.
Let's see who the fuck I play week 1.
All right, whoever's watching this garbage,
Garbage.
we're about to sit through this draft and see what happens and talk about everyone's teams and give our hot
good,
and
I
cold
played.
takes for the final season. What's up, boys? Glad you guys can make it. Beach, how are you doing?
I'm great. How you doing?
Are you excited for the final draft?
I'm sad, but
I know, me too. It came too fast this year. The quarantine.
yeah, sitting around the house does that to you.
Quarterback. Ian, thank you for joining us. What are your thoughts on the final draft and the Colts taking Heath Henry?
It did come really fast.
That's
It's
good.
been a great cycle. Kind of feels like it's ending too soon, but also at the perfect time. I don't know what Pruitt's thought process is behind drafting the QB. It ain't going to do shit for him, especially at this point. Beats me. He's finishing bottom of the
Yeah,
division
I mean-
again, unfortunately.
Each for the running back in the
Oh.
first round.
Good, and the Eagles solve all their problems. Before we get too crazy into the Eagles here, Pruitt taking that quarterback is not going to matter, right? I mean,
No.
he's proven that he's one of the worst users in the league right now, and taking a fast quarterback is his way of saying, I'm having fun. 61 is going to be, I'm having fun. I'm throwing it all over the yard. Moji, I know you're a big beat oven guy. Your thoughts on Isaac Owens to the Eagles?
I mean, he's a great player. Definitely a great player. It's sad he's going to go, his only season in red zone, he's going to be forgotten and it's going to be a waste. But, I mean, I can't fault him for the pick. I don't know who he has at quarterback.
Does
So.
Beat even run the ball? Like, why would he ever take a running back?
Well, he took a
No,
wide
he
receiver.
doesn't. He's been suspended more than anybody for carries.
He took a wide
He's
receiver
taking-
last year, and that guy had 10 catches. So, I mean,
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
you don't really know
someone
what
who
he's
he-
going to do.
Calvin Jones off the board.
Damn it.
Oh, good.
That's gonna be so good.
Yeah, and you have coming
He's actually not as good as I thought he was going to be.
Silk gave John Ross $8 million per year in free agency, and now brings in his the other weapon of the offense. It can't get much worse. Who is their quarterback? Does anyone know?
No idea.
No clue.
Let's check.
It's not. I know it's not Everett Gold.
That's another one. It doesn't really matter who his quarterback is.
Right.
He signed
Like-
Houston Bullard.
Oh
Who?
my
And he
God, are
signed-
you serious?
And he signed Will Light, and he has Zach
Yep.
Sexton, and he has this Curtis guy.
He's got 4 quarterbacks just in case.
He's 4 of them.
I pray that there's a game this year all 4 have to play.
Tight end.
Tight end in the
Good
top
pick.
5.
That's a good pick.
Tight end in the top 5. It always amazes me, these guys. I mean, what did he win? 3 games? Chiefs guy? Icom? It's
Chiefs
like,
guy, that's so disrespectful for Icom. God.
it's bad that I had to think of who it was. I'm
Chiefs
sorry.
guy.
I know no disrespect to him and
That
his
praises his name all week about media, and
But
they
it's
can't
like-
remember what team he has. Or
It's bad
oh, Joyner's
when
gone.
it's gotten bad. if you're
Damn,
starting to
he's
forget,
good.
That's a good pick.
That was the number
That's
one
a
guy on my list.
it's a rock pick.
It's a great pick. Mm-hmm.
Eddie Joyner. Listened to that podcast last night, that the Sintoff one. They're higher on the Jaguars than people think. Can he bring this team out of the depths that Smokes destroyed them into? Is it possible?
There's not enough time.
There's not enough time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
He came in at like the absolute worst time.
You know what we're going to do with the Dolphins?
Montreal Falcons.
Adele?
What's that?
Dolphins. Who's the Dolphins? Anybody?
No, we have a CPU
No.
owner. We couldn't find anybody.
Okay.
The sad thing is that the CPU is going to do a better draft than any of our potential replacements would have done.
I played He's ready.
There you go, Pat. There's a guy that will struggle to cover bench routes all year. Kareem Strong. Your thoughts?
And, I'm happy about it. You know, anyone who's not ready to play the season to start for the Bears is great for me. But honestly, I wanted him, so you know, it's a rough pick.
Tico's just trying to piece it together, which I appreciate, but he finally had success running the ball at Tariq Cohen and then let him walk. And I believe he went to Moji, I think, right?
Sure did.
Yeah, Kenny
Which
Clark
doesn't
made
make
him,
sense.
Kenny Clark made him fumble 3 times.
He did get Josh Jacobs, who's pretty fucking good.
Oh, yeah, he did trade for him. I forgot about that.
And he's definitely slower, but he's a fucking bowling ball.
Yeah, he's a power back, right?
Yeah.
So,
And he
his
has
man's
Marcus.
here. Do we know?
I have no idea.
Who?
Is this...
I thought Man's quit.
It's one of those things where I have never known if he's at the draft. Seriously, I have never known if he's
not
attended.
online.
He
Of
says
course
he
he's
was
not.
online 11 hours ago, so
He's probably crushing grapes or something.
yeah, he's not home.
We'll let it run down one time. That's usually the rule that we like to do here, if someone doesn't tell me. Pat, what's it like being in a division with Mans when he's just totally falling apart and not caring anymore?
Yeah, it's disappointing, to be honest. You know, you join the division. You have Weed and Mans, 2 Super Bowl winners. You expect beating them to matter, and you get all the way towards the end of the cycle, and Mans hasn't done anything all year. There's really no pride in it anymore. But hopefully he turns around his cycle and puts his head back in it, and as good as he used to be. But
it's horrifically depressing that he's fallen off the way he has. And he actually got a good pick out of that. Wow. That's probably the better corner than the one the Bears got. Sim is here.
That guy's
Beach,
probably
you're on the clock. So it's
hidden
exciting
too.
time for you. So Ian, with this being the last draft, do you think people try to trade, or do you think they just try to get who they can now because it's the last chance you can get it? Like,
I mean,
right?
first 10 picks we ever
it seemed like people were trying to, make trades and make moves, but like, me personally, I don't get the point because none of these guys are
I
going
don't
to
get it
develop.
either.
So unless you got like a top 10 pick, like it don't matter. Fill spots just in case you need a body, but you're not going to have time to develop anybody, in any real sense because it's the last season. So, take whoever's take
yeah.
the player available and move on.
Yeah, I mean, Moji will tell you more than anyone, like, watching White Greg try to trade out of 12. Like, what are you doing? You need a good player. Like, just keep 12. There's no
I
point
tried
in
very
trading
hard
down
to
more.
get to 12.
Of course you did. You're such a prick. Of course you. You've probably been in his.
It's been for the
He
past
gets
half
a
hour.
tackle. Moji, right now on the fly with no preparation whatsoever, I want you to rank your 3 favorite people to try to badger into a trade.
When Aaron was in the league, Aaron was definitely number one. 100%. He would just get so upset if I ever said anything mean about his team. It's like, dude, I'm joking.
Right.
He would get very, very upset, and then I'd have to rub his back a little, make him feel better. Aaron's definitely one. I love negotiating with Jake because then we'll come to an agreement, and then I'll just back out of it to be a dick before we send it in, and he goes nuts. Plus, we trolled him that one time with the Fitz Magic trade, so
right.
Jake's definitely up there. I don't know who number 3 would be. Spencer's pretty fun to try to trade with because he like is awful at negotiating, and if you give him any pushback, he kind of folds. So it's pretty funny to see like how much you could actually squeeze Spencer for. So I think Spencer's number 3.
So yeah, I mean, basically everyone who's watching this right now is furiously writing names in preparation for next year, like week 1 of season 62. Spencer, what do you want for that first? Wow, that's the most lefty pick of all time, taking a card in the final season.
Yep, confirmed.
Congratulations. Lefty, what did he go 7 and 9? One most disappointing.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's over for him. Is it going to agree with me on that? Is it over for him for this cycle?
I don't know. He might be able to get one more good season with him.
I mean, who knows?
I feel like Jake's kind of figured it out.
Well, who knows what Jake's mental state is right now? So, it's true.
Yeah. Reading through that novel that he posted last night was one of the biggest emotional roller coasters I've ever been on personally.
You actually,
and I'm not involved in it. Yeah, I did. You need to. It's seriously, it's a trip.
I skipped to like the last paragraph, and I was like, "Oh shit, Jake's retiring." Okay.
Yeah, we need someone to do like a Cliff Notes.
He remembers a lot of shit that's happened. Like, there's shit he had in there that I was like, "Fuck, I totally forgot about this." So like, I feel like at the end of each
free agency signings.
I feel at the end of each season, Jake goes in like keeps like a running notebook of like notable things that happened, so this way he can reference back to it.
He does, absolutely. Raiders on the clock here. JP said he would quit the league. He doesn't get them next year, just like Moji said he would quit the league next year if he doesn't get his Jets.
I'm done.
Back to yeah. I don't know. I don't have a team yet that I say if I don't get them, I would quit. That's the beauty of going first overall, though, is that I can really pick whoever I want.
Yeah, so, you get whoever you want. It doesn't really fucking matter to you.
Ian, will you ever forgive Metal?
No.
Never.
The thing
really
with
nice
that
decision.
is, like, chances are he was going to get the field goal anyway. So it's not that. But Metal like has a history of doing lame shit, and he's never fun to play against for me. So for that, I'm done with him. Like, I don't enjoy playing against you. So that's like not just something that happened this cycle. That's like multiple cycles. I've only been here for fucking 3. So if like in 3 cycles, like I'm fed up with you, like, fuck is the point? So no,
right?
No, absolutely.
Get it back on. So.
By the way, this guy has been complaining for months to get a Saturday draft, and he's going to actually use this whole 2 minutes. So cool. Really glad that we did that.
He might not be here.
He's probably not here.
that would be unbelievable. Are you fucking kidding me? Then we should have done it yesterday.
No, he's here.
Yeah, I mean, he probably would have beat you.
Okay,
there he goes. Okay, there you go.
Oh my gosh, bring
all that for a white safety.
Whoa!
I feel like the safeties weren't very good this year.
Jets drafted one yesterday. I was happy.
I'm talking about red zone. No one, Moji, and I mean no one cares about who the Jets drafted yesterday.
That's a lie.
Safety.
That's a lie. Cave
I'm gonna tell you right now. Don't care.
Is that Trent Williams thing in real life true? Is that a real thing?
Yeah, it just got reported.
Seriously, 49ers? What'd they give up for him?
A 5th this year and a future 3rd.
For who?
For Trent Williams.
Trent Williams. They have McGlinchey and wow. Is Staley still there? Isn't Staley still there?
I don't know.
Huh. I guess I'm not as up to date on my 49ers O linemen as I should be. Another taking a guard, telling you that right now. We've got 18
you leave Reed alone?
People are watching this. I can't. He comes to me more than anyone else. Like, if I put my direct messages with him out there, people would ask for me to remove him. It's so filthy.
That's what everybody.
It's disgusting.
It's so filthy. It's filthy, vulgar, and sometimes it's bad. It's real bad. Let's poll the group right now. Better bounce back and left your cave. Who's got a better chance?
To bounce back this year? I think Cave.
Yeah.
Okay, for sure.
I say lefty just because I don't know how like checked in Jake is, which is
I
like
think he's still going to
big.
try.
I mean, probably, but like, what does try really mean in like the last season of the cycle?
Yeah, you're right. Championship's a championship, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Hell yes, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Moji, you won the last one, didn't you? Last year?
Mm-hmm.
Sure did.
That's right.
Asterisk.
Is Smokes the biggest asterisk in red zone history?
He's the
Yeah.
biggest asshole.
It's
in
got to
the
be right.
league.
Oh,
Yes,
JP.
100%.
Oh, you should
Why
have
does
stayed
it
in
always try to
bed.
make me trade my picks?
Oh, James.
Ooh wee.
That's not good. That's real bad. So JP was in on that Tyler Farley in free agency, and he was going to give him like $35 million a year. Didn't get him because he wanted to go play for the 2-win Colts, and so now he takes a 69 overall linebacker.
Yeah, this linebacker's not going to be going anywhere.
I gotta plug this.
Moji, this is why you're on the stream for the punt. Yeah, I don't know. Pat, did you golf today?
No.
He virtually golfed.
Ugh,
Ooh, Tracy
Oh.
Redmond. What's his dev?
normal.
You reached.
Oh,
you
that's
don't
not
fucking
good.
say. This guy's garbage, Pat.
It's just a rough day to be a Packer fan. I feel the NFC North.
Bad week.
Weed's pretty good. Weed's got a good team. That Jadeveon Clowney trade was really good. But Pat, I feel like you're right there.
Yeah.
Clowney lost his
I
pass
just
rushing trade, though.
can't beat weed for some reason, so kind of fucks me over.
Yeah. It's amazing how like devalued these picks are. Like if you don't get a guy with an ability, it just doesn't matter. Unless like the
this
Ravens
year.
obviously are really good. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Right? It's just like they're so devalued this year. There was a trade that went through today through the committee where Sin traded a 3rd round pick for a linebacker who is like a 64 overall, but he has 86 speed. And that was approved because picks are so devalued now. I mean, that was basically a practice squad guy.
Right.
Just unbelievable. That's a classic Sin trade too, by the way. Can't tackle, can't cover, but he has 86 speed. Like, that's so classic. Oh, man. Blueprint's really taking his time. Him and Silk are furiously texting right now, trying to figure out who they want.
You should take his.
I have to take this guy there.
Welcome back, Brandon.
Had to plug my computer in.
So I feel like our war rooms right now are better than the real NFL ones. I mean, look at our war rooms.
Some of those houses are real fucking nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Cliff Kingsbury's house.
Cliff
I guess
Kingsbury's
Blue's not
house.
here.
Absurd.
Blue. I don't care if Blue's here or not. That's a blue pick right there.
My boy Blue.
Kyle Harold.
If I'm telling you, if I don't have the Jets next cycle, man.
So
Painful.
remember that terrible Russell Wilson contract that Blueprint gave last year? He gave like a backup. He bailed out of that because Wilson retired. Such a joke. He was giving $20 million a year to his backup for the quarterback that he acquired from Silk.
Has Blue won worse GM yet?
No,
He should. I
Trent should.
love Blue. I do. I love Blue. He's a terrible. I don't know if he knows what he's doing or if he thinks up
He's gone for some reason. That's because you.
taking a right tackle at 25.
Pretty good though.
Really
Pretty
good.
pick.
That guy is really good. He's one of the highest overalls we've seen.
I was hoping he
What
fell
was the
33.
2 quarterbacks so far, right?
Yeah, I think the quarterback was the best in the draft so far. Oh well, one of them.
Yeah, that guy was kind of a no-brainer though. He's really fast and had a good arm. Pat, I'm gonna ask you, since I've only done it via text message, your thoughts on the Packers real life draft. Go. at the end.
I'm okay with it, but I'm also a guy who doesn't go crazy about draft classes and draft picks. Like, just trust the process, let it go. Hopefully it works out.
Trust the process.
I've had no reason not to, so, we're just going to see what happens.
That's actually a decent point. Ooh, there's your replacement. Looks like he would be a fullback.
The selection of the running back actually made me angrier.
Yeah, I didn't get that
In
pick.
the second round.
Last year in Aaron Jones.
What?
Aaron Jones was the touchdown last year.
Yeah, he was one of the best running backs in the
He
league.
literally
Why-
led the league in touchdowns.
Yeah.
Like, why are you taking a running back at the second?
And we have a good
Something.
second running back. Like, it's just, that pick made no sense to me. The quarterback, I can somewhat understand you take a chance, but the running back is just blows my mind.
And then you have to be thrilled as a Cowboys fan of everything that's going on. I mean, getting Lamb and Diggs is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's time to jump on the
Like how
bandwagon.
is Diggs?
Might be a shortened
How is
season.
Diggs available there?
I don't know.
Short
They didn't even
season,
think he
yeah,
was
might
going to be available at 51.
Can we feed
Devontae
toward
McKnight.
pick?
Good to see Spitta continues to butcher the draft every opportunity he gets. So who isn't here so far? Just the Bills guy and
Blue.
Blue. Yeah, that's too bad.
Mm.
Poor Blue.
Was Mans?
Ooh, the Chargers just drafted a running back in real life.
Mans is here.
Nance
Okay.
is here. Okay, gotcha. Oh man, oh man, oh man! I can't believe it's already over. When did Madden come out last year? Like August 15th, August 10th. I
Yeah,
think it came out
Yeah,
super
sounds
early.
right.
Yeah,
I got to play the AI Dolphins. That's annoying.
is that your week one?
That's my week one game.
You want to go check mine for me? Please tell me it's the Saints.
It's not. I played
I was gonna
B-Dub.
be 49ers and Cable won't want to play for 2 days.
You've got the Bears. Tico.
God, are you kidding? Great.
Got Tico first.
Cool.
They'll be played week 8.
The schedule's
Week
tough.
8. So by the way, with so Tico on that yesterday, and he's telling me the address, and he lives on Manly Way. Like, are you kidding me? Of course you live on Manly Way. Guy's unbelievable. He probably moved there on purpose.
What's it called? You're breaking up.
Manly Way.
Manly Way.
Yeah, that's where Tico lives.
MANLY.
Yeah. It's
Thank you,
unbelievable.
Professor.
Of course he does. Thank you, Professor. Oh, Ian John's on the clock.
Well, let's see where we're going to go.
Where's Jake Allen?
Who?
Real Jake Allen. Real Jake Allen.
Out in the living room.
Yeah, he's probably sleeping.
We'll bring him in later.
Sounds good. That's for
Who's this?
subscribers only.
I am RL Chris. Who's that?
I don't know.
Picking up random fans.
How many viewers do we have? Last time I checked, it was like 20.
Well, this is about to be a reach, but let's see what happens.
Hey,
Hey,
it's pretty good.
ain't bad. Hitting
Wow.
low.
That's just what we needed is more defense. Yeah, you got big fat defensive tackle guy from the Redskins too, didn't you?
Sure did.
Yeah,
Deron Payne.
good. That's just what you needed. All right, you got to tell us right now. You're in the AFC Championship game. What happened? Why didn't you win? Give us the breakdown.
Fell apart, man. I couldn't get my offense going. And as everybody knows, Amari Adkins, the best wide receiver in the league, got hurt. Got hurt second quarter, so like my offense just it stalled. I tried to hang in there as long as I could. I think I was down I think it was 16-13, like in the third quarter. But Ashton just pulled away, and there wasn't much I could do to keep up with him offensively. So, shit happens, but, maybe we'll get back there one day.
He's one of those guys that is just, you have to find a way to score on him.
Right.
Because he's so consistent, right?
How do I not? Though?
You have to.
I have to take
do
him.
Moji's going for a name here.
This is the pick of the
Moji's
cycle.
going the best player available.
Pick of the cycle right here.
Oh my God, he did it. Oh my God, he did it. He took the quarterback.
He's really good, too.
This is like Jalen Hurts
He's so
to the
good.
Eagles.
He's really fucking
Is he
good.
actually that good?
Yes.
What's his depth?
And
Oh my God.
And he's from USC, so it's a perfect backup for Sam. This is great.
You're going to groom him, aren't you?
Yep.
Is he going to start?
No. Stop.
Why not? That's fun.
Sam is my boy, but this is a great backup to have for when I 3-pick sit eventually and in case Sam gets hurt.
he's slinging the ball.
It's really good.
Just want the back to come in.
He's really good. Yeah, get more aggressive now.
You skip this.
Oh yeah, we can skip these. Lyle Jackson. Beat will say that was his guy, by the way. And you just took him right in front of him. He was going to take that quarterback, I bet.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Another defense. There's your Ed Oliver replacement. All right, who's going to be the next player to go to the 2-win Colts? Exciting times in Indy. Man, oh man.
At least he landed some free agents and
Buckle
did
up.
something this year.
They're going to win 6 games
I do
this
like
year.
that he did that.
3 times.
He had a good
I like that
offseason.
he did that. Yeah. Yeah, he signed Farley and he signed he gave Chris Herndon like $30 million a year
Yeah, he gave
as
me
a tight end.
and kill
Believe
Harry.
me, I
too.
wanted to give Chris Herndon $30 million. Couldn't do it.
Ooh.
$14 in true
Oh my God,
talent.
the quarterback is good.
He's really
Oh my
good.
goodness, and fell to you
Damn.
in the second round. Pick 33. Man, oh man. That's unbelievable. The rich get richer. You didn't even need him. So you took a player in case you have to 3-pick sit.
Yeah, I need a good backup. I'm tired of Will Light coming in and it being a shit show.
Unbelievable. Beach, are you going to win the AFC East this year?
What's that?
Are you going to win the AFC East this year?
As much as I want to say, yeah, I really don't know. My team's not very good.
At least
I
you're
don't
honest
have-
about it.
I
At
don't
least he
have
has
the
a fair
best-
assessment of his own team.
Actually, I am 9,000 XP away from my 89 overall DN getting an ability. So, yeah, I'm hoping he gets one of those cheesy ass pass rush abilities, and I think that if I get that, I'll win the AFC East. Yeah.
You know?
So you're
Let's get
saying
that
that you're
preseason.
one pass rush ability away.
I'm one pass rush ability away from going
Didn't you have
From
Khalil Mack
7
last
wins.
year?
to 12 wins. What?
Yeah,
Did you have Khalil Mack?
Khalil Mack doesn't have any superstar abilities.
That's not true.
It is true. He had none.
he had
he
like
had-
30 sacks for me back-to-back years.
Yeah, then he went below the threshold and he lost that ability. You're not an idiot. There's a reason why you traded him for a 4th and a 5th.
There was a reason he wasn't very good anymore.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
Oh, he won a ring. I made a franchise tag, then I traded him to the Patriots. I think it was a great deal for him. And speaking of great deals, Preston Mason. That's not a good pick. Yikes.
He's not very good either.
Yeah, we're in
No.
the second round. It doesn't matter anymore.
It's over with.
I don't pick until
Ain't
the
nobody
fourth round.
there.
This is exciting.
Yeah. There's nobody there.
Ooh, the Vikings have our first of our 13 picks in real life is coming up. 13 picks today.
How many of those
Sorry.
13 do you think are going to make the final roster?
7. I think they
Yeah,
just
I'd probably say
we
5.
lost so many guys in free this year, so they just need to throw darts at the board and see what sticks. But all right, I got our first. So I put out a post to see if any Q&As for us, like any questions that they want us to answer. The first question is Silk saying zone in the funny things of all time? I think so. That was a great day for chat.
It's up there.
There have been like
No, we're doubling up on this.
10 really good chat days this month, and that was one of them. David Wynn. There's your John Ross replacement. Of course, Silk gave John Ross $9 million a year. It's unbelievable.
So what? I don't get it.
Don't get what?
Why? Why are you paying him that much money?
Because he's got 99 speed. That's why.
Yeah.
No,
He knows Moji. He knows how to use him. Okay, don't you understand this by now?
You're right. I'm sorry.
No, it's a terrible contract. Doing free agency grades is completely pointless in the final season because there's no future. Like, you don't get punished for the contracts you give now, but that would be one of the worst ones. There's no doubt, right? I mean, there were some terrible contracts given this year because there's no future punishment. Oh yeah, there's a Super Bowl or there's an AFC Championship game rematch week 1. Browns Chargers week 1.
Yep.
Yo,
Probably lose that one too.
Nobody's beating him.
he's tough, man.
The team is fucking loaded.
I gotta make sure to send him to GG before we start. He got me last time.
That team never takes steps back either. It's insane.
Well, it's because he's consistently had 299 overall rushers for like the past 5 years.
Yep.
He can do whatever he wants on that defense.
And then the
And he gets Derwin
receivers,
James.
like that's why he beat Ian. I mean, you can't cover them, man. They torch you.
Yeah.
You can't. I mean, you play Kaplan 1-on-1, that's a wrap. You play the Hopkins guy 1-on-1, that's a wrap. Like, I don't know how you beat him. To be honest with you.
Humble brag.
No, it's he's frustrating to play. There are a few guys this year that have done a really good job at just kind of keeping their group together, like Cave, right? Like, he will tell you, I mean, that roster was really good day one, and he's just kept it together. And he added Josh Allen. Like, he ripped Birdman off for Josh Allen. Just ridiculous.
Birdman's made some poor trades in his short time here.
Guy ruined the Bills and then quit the league. Like, ruined the Bills.
And then he came back, had a good Dolphins team, and then he disappeared again. I don't get it.
But I
don't know where he went to.
He was streaming the other day in a different league.
Yep. I think he knows he can't. He can't win here. That's what I think.
He knows he can't.
It's hard to play in
That's
a
got to
league
be part of
you
it.
can't win in.
Oh, Mans is in here. Cool.
He was earlier.
And the Patriots are back on the clock. Trey Kemp, wow. That's a horrific, horrible pick. All right, Moji, I want your predictions for Super Bowl for the final season.
Saints Chargers.
Did I ask for you to pat yourself on the back? I said I wanted your real prediction.
I gave you my real prediction. No, I think Cave goes back this year.
Really?
He's got a good team still. And I think it's his last season, so he's going to try to I think be a little bit more invested this year because it is his final season. I don't know. I see him putting it all together, and he lost some close games last year. He's still got a good team. He almost made the playoffs anyway. I don't know. I think he just kind of refocuses for one final run, and then Does it?
Really hot take. I think it's going to be Silk versus Blueprint in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's their offline.
And
If the whole league quits,
yeah, we're gonna stream their offline league Super Bowl. They both go 16-0,
Yeah.
and they meet in the championship.
They
I love
both,
Silk and Blue
they
so
both
much.
just sim to win the whole season so that they can get there. And then they play each other every year.
Oh, that's not right. That is not right. So I would say that if you took if Red Zone was a real football league, there are
It
8
is.
GMs here that are worse than Bill O'Brien. I would probably argue that. Is Remesu trading Calvin Ridley in his division to the odds-on favorite, a Bill O'Brien level trade?
Why did that get approved? Y'all ought to be ashamed.
Don't ask me. I don't get a vote. Pat, is it a Bill O'Brien level move?
it's one of the worst things I've ever seen happen in red zone. So I don't even know if you can compare it to someone who has a legitimate job.
It's
What was that deal for? A second and a third or something?
I don't even know what it was for. What did you give him, Moji? A first?
Pick 23.
Pick
The worst part
23.
is I was trying to trade for it. Like, he could have given him to the
Or
Packers.
22, something like that.
It's so stupid.
For an X Factor receiver. Well,
One of the things that I've noticed that people do is that they put a guy in the block and they get way too excited when the first good offer comes in, right? Like they don't wait it out and they don't see what the other offers are that come through. I mean, I see it all the time. If I ever put a guy in or if I ask for a guy that's on the block, it's usually right away. It's the guy wants to make that move. They won't gauge the trade market. That's what some of these guys need to do. Just don't take exactly the first thing that comes to you.
Yeah, and then just start lying about what other people are offering you all the time.
Yeah, Moji.
Never done that ever.
I've never done that ever. Yes, you have. You absolutely have done that. You've absolutely done that.
I've ended up not trading guys a million times for doing that. Just completely lying about what I had offered, and then
And then you kind of have to stick to it as like,
and then no one offers me what I wanted.
you're like, fuck, I definitely overvalue this guy. I can't send him for that.
Man, oh man, oh man. Aston's picking it here. This is just a luxury pick. Doesn't matter. He'll be in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, it's kind of like which one of these guys wants to win another ring.
Right. Which of these guys am I going to force feed for a dev game this year? Oh, it's a wide receiver, Travis Abraham.
Not that good.
I'll somehow be an 80 overall by the end of the season.
When is the Turtles Memorial pick coming up? It's got to be soon because we're almost to round 3.
You think so? I think we got another round.
That should be a bet every year that we do. When will the Turtles Memorial pick happen?
Over under the round. I think if you set it every year at I don't know, 4, I think it's fair.
Moji stops me from doing it every year, so
You're an idiot.
I will just never ever forget. I mean, he went 0-16, takes a quarterback first overall, takes a running back first overall in the second round, and then, I mean, you're 0-16. You have needs. You're taking a quarterback in the third round.
Well, he just got a running back. He just got a quarterback. He wants someone to block for those guys.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
That's a good pick right there. Wow. In the second round. Dwayne Haskins' younger brother. They look pretty close, right?
Yeah, they almost could be twins.
I'm glad JP made the draft. Remember what was that thing that JP said last night, that abilities don't matter? Was that he said?
Yeah, he definitely said that.
yeah, he did.
Oh, he's fuming right now. Fuming.
That's
if he's listening to
what I said.
That's not what I said. I have seen that argument from a couple people, though, that they don't impact as much as we think they do.
No,
That's a good pick.
they definitely impact the game. But everyone has a chance to get them, and if you don't, that's on you.
Yeah. They need to do some tuning next year, though.
Well, I mean, it just fucked us early because we didn't have offensive linemen coming in for 5 seasons, until we started doing it manually. That can kind of counter that. And, those guys all being normal devs, it sucks.
I also don't think people knew for the first 3 seasons that the pass rushers were the best ones. I think everyone thought that the wide receivers and the running backs
Oh,
are the best
man.
ones.
Yep, that's exactly what I thought.
Like if like when JJ Watt hit free agency that one year, there were two teams bidding on him. If he hit free agency now, every single team in the league would put a bid
And
on him.
that's the thing too, right? You get like these shitty teams that you're struggling and you have a lot of cap room. I don't care how old JJ Watt is; he's going to single-handedly improve your record by at least 2 games. Like, go get that fucking guy. I don't, and then for him to just go to the Cardinals, and I know you paid a lot, but like it could have been a lot more if he hit the market now.
There's no doubt he would make $35 million a year in our.
It's you're a bad team, and you have a chance to really help get you on the map a little bit. You need to go fucking pay the guy. I know it's crazy to look at that number every year and see him making $30 million, but
he impacts the game in so many ways. Like I think I'm about to get on my high horse and rant, but you brought it up where it's like there's so many teams in our league that just don't try to improve, and they have the assets to do so. And it's like, I don't know if they don't show up or they don't pay attention or whatever the deal is, but it's like,
Are we skipping Blueprint or not?
oh yeah. That's probably my number one pet peeve.
But it's also they don't plan, I feel, too, right? Like some guys I feel definitely just show up and are like, hey, I have this money, like, should I spend it here? Should I spend it? And they don't really sit down and go like, all right, I need to improve at X, Y, and Z positions. Like, if I go get this guy, and I feel guys get locked in on a target too, right, in free agency. So say they're bidding on one guy and they don't get that guy, there's no contingency plan in place. Like, they'll keep bidding till they lose, and then they miss out on 6 other free agents that could have helped their team.
Right.
The thing too, though, is that I feel like there aren't, even though with the way our rules are structured, there still aren't enough really good players that make free agency, right? Like there are a few years when there's a couple stars, but there isn't like a JJ Watt and then like a second tier great rusher. It's usually like Watt and then a bunch of like fringe starter guys. So I can understand that, but I know what you're saying, where it's just like you're either all in on the best running back or all in on the best corner, right?
But so instead of getting the top corner, maybe you spread that money around and go improve at 3 other positions where you can land starters that are going to help your team, instead of going all in on one guy and missing and being like, oh fuck, well now my offseason's ruined, and then they miss out on all those second tier guys and they're stuck with third tier guys, and it just doesn't help.
Of course, the wide receiver that Aston drafted is Hidden Dev, by the way.
Of course.
Hate him.
But yeah, when it comes to free agency, it really just depends on how you use your team. Because I mean, like Moji said, you got to find ways to spread that money around. Like you got to pick guys that just, you can't pick everybody at the top of the list. That ain't going to work. Right. You know what I mean? Like a couple years back, I found Ben Boone, cornerback. He was 72 overall, but he was fast as shit, and he had good man coverage. Obviously, it's not a secret. I run man 90% of the game. So here we are 3-4 years later, he's a free agent again, and Spit is bidding millions and millions of dollars on him because he can play now. But you don't have to pick an 85, 86, 87 overall CB. If you're okay usering a guy in the middle of the field, I put him in the slot. I user him on tight ends all the time. It just depends on how you want to play. But some guys, just want to sit at linebacker, and not find ways to change their game. And because of that, that spreads to how they draft and how they, spend money in free agency. But you gotta adapt to shit. You know what I mean? You can't just do the same shit over and over and think it's going to work when it's not. You gotta change. You gotta pick guys that you think are going to help, but that guys that you can use to overcome, whatever deficiencies they may have in their abilities. Like Ben Boone was, normal dev, never had any abilities, never had any great zone coverage, nothing like that. But guess what? You try and throw to your tight end in the middle of the field, I'm there. Period.
Right.
I'm shutting down the entire middle of the field because he's quick as fuck, and my user abilities overcome those deficiencies he might have in awareness, play recognition, shit like that. So you got to make adjustments. You got to figure out, what the fuck you're doing, and just stop sitting there and then blaming the game whenever shit doesn't turn out the way you want it.
Right, but I think that's the problem, and that's a really good point. I pretty much agreed with everything you said. I think just a lot of people just don't think that way, though, right? They don't look at how can I, they look at play rec, and maybe they just don't want him because his play rec's a 56. But play rec it gets thrown out the door when you're using the guy.
Right.
And I think people forget stuff like that. And it's like putting a little extra time in goes such a long way. And I think the guys that do that can attest to that, right? I mean, if you just care a little more, there's so many things you can do that are different. And then you look at a guy like, I know I've ripped on him a lot today, but you look at Mans, where he like keeps signing running backs for some reason every year when he has Oliver Pounds and trades for Kareem Hunt and had Dalvin Cook and wasted him. And it's just like, what are you doing? Like, are you just doing this because
this is my best fucking draft? God damn it!
Best draft at the end of the cycle. You gotta love it.
This
is what happens when you have picks.
2 hidden dev guys. I know this picks thing's kind of cool.
Easily my worst draft I've ever had, so I'm happy it happened now.
This picks thing is kind of cool, he says. Oh, man, oh, man. Entering round 3. We're simming Blueprints picks from this point. I don't care anymore.
What the fuck is Tico doing?
I don't know.
I feel like that's a frequently asked question in Red Zone. Love you, Tico, but sure.
Moji, who are your like favorite guys in the league who just have no plan and you love to watch from the sideline as they just crumble every year and try to figure it out on the fly?
And just watch it burn?
Yeah. I have a few. I mean, there's so many good ones.
B Oven, I'm just so invested to everything he does. I fucking love Ian to death. But it's the fucking land of the lost over there. I just don't know what's happening. Again, I'll go back to Spencer. I love him too, but watching Spencer try to figure it out has been great. I hate watching Silk and Blueprint, how they run their teams. It's just, I don't get it. It's very unconventional, and that's coming from a guy who's very unconventional. I don't know. There's a lot of interesting ways that guys build teams in the NFL.
I mean, Ian, as an AFC North guy, when you saw Spencer trade for McCaffrey and then let Connor walk after he deemed that they were going to be a 1-2 punch, I mean, you have to be just smiling, right?
Honestly, I just shake my head like I don't know what the fuck he's doing. Because, I mean, Spence was in my division, last cycle whenever he joined. And his whole thing, even coming into this cycle, was, I can't wait to get my own team. I can't wait to, build my own guys, da-da-da-da-da. And it's just like, you came in here and you didn't do shit. Like, the Steelers are, I would say, at this point, worse than they were when we started the cycle. Like,
I agree. Absolutely.
Easily. So, like, what is your, I guess, like, what is your objective when you're team building? Like, I really don't understand half the shit he does. And it's not that he's a bad user, because he's not. Like, he's definitely gotten better this cycle, but I don't understand some of the moves he makes, like, at all.
I think people see shiny Christian McCaffrey on the block, and I want him, and I don't care how he fits the team. I'm trading for him, and it'll be fun, right? And then James Conner walk after we deem it a 1-2 punch at running back. It's brilliant. That's a good pick, Ian, in the second round.
Oh, that's decent. I didn't really want to go offensive line since like 5 of my guys just got dev'd up, but whatever.
Thank you for mentioning that, because everybody knows that you have 5 superstar linemen. We know. We're happy for you.
We're pretty good. We're pretty good. That's another thing too. Is, and I say it in chat all the time, is people bitch about pass rush so much. Like, we know pass rush is OP. Nobody's saying it's not. It's been OP since like the beta. But you can do shit to avoid that. I just started a rookie left tackle and a rookie center, and it didn't affect me at all. They got dev'd up because I get rid of the fucking ball. Run the ball. Know how to read a defense. Find your open guy. Stop fucking taking sacks. It doesn't make any fucking sense to me. None at all. I don't understand that argument. Oh, it's impossible to do anything when you got 2 fucking pass rushers going da-da-da. No, it's not impossible. Figure it the fuck out. Yeah, I played against Silk. You know what he did? He threw fucking drags and slants the whole time. Why? I got 2 X Factor pass rushers. It's smart as shit. I sacked them once. Do something and stop bitching about it all the time.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of guys won't adjust too. They'll just kind of like sit in the same things and try to throw the ball 30 yards downfield and hit their head against the wall and then wonder why they got sacked 12 times.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then I mean, Baker's the MVP if Murray doesn't throw for 5,000 yards. Simple as that, right?
Yeah,
and when I was doing the stats for the awards and stuff, I mean, Murray was sacked. I think it was almost double the amount of times that Baker was.
I didn't look at that. That's interesting.
So it's like and it's not because you're dropping back to 7-step drops on big play action boots. It's because you get the ball out fast.
Yeah.
So, which is, I mean, and the knowledge is there. People know that you can do this. They've watched you do it. They've watched Cave do it. I mean, Cave's probably as good as you are at doing that. But you're right. People won't adjust. Like, what was it last year when we just ripped Black Magic for not adjusting in his play style and all he does is throw deep routes? You've got to change. I mean, at some point you have to change. Because, I mean, I'm pretty sure we're at the point now where every single team in the league has at least one rusher, right?
I mean, I would say
point. Except the Patriots.
No.
But
not every team. And here. Look, I get the point about you got to make adjustments. You got to do this. Here's where it gets really hard. If you are the Browns or you're the Chargers or whatever teams have these pass rushers, and then you have corners, all you do is play underneath coverage, and you're going to get pressure in a second and a half, and then you play underneath, and boom. I mean, and on the other hand, the running, I don't know if it's just me. I'm not that good at running the ball. I don't really know how. Even against 3-man fronts, I don't do a good job running the ball. I don't know if it's just me as a user. I really don't. In Madden, I've never been good at running the football. But I think that's what holds a lot of people back as well. If I can't throw the ball short because we're playing underneath coverage, whether it's man or whether it's zone. I can't get the ball. I can't throw deep because you know the move now. Everybody's just using the slot guy. Like, why wouldn't you do that? I'm going to put my 2 best corners on your receivers, and I'm going to use the slot guy. And whatever route he runs, I'm going to jump because the physics of the game don't apply to that player that I'm playing as a user. Right. I can jolt to the right and then fake it, and then I can sprint 4-1 speed to the left, and I can pick it. So that kind of shit, and that didn't catch on, I don't think, until a couple seasons ago. That wasn't.
I've been doing that shit all cycle. I don't know when it caught on for everybody else, but
but you notice now everybody now that is the move,
right?
Like, and I remember when I first noticed it because I'm not a good man-to-man user cover guy. I've never done it. So I just didn't do it, but it's a lot easier to do in Madden 20. Like, that's really difficult because of what you said. You can literally overcome any ability whatsoever with user. It's not even it's not even really being a great user. You can just move faster with the guy you're playing as. I bitch a lot about the pass rush because it fucking hurts the game so much. I think the game is great. I thought the X Factor things make everybody feel individual, which is what they said they wanted to do. They wanted you to feel like a player was an individual, like a lot like 2K. You use LeBron, he feels like LeBron. It's not like you use LeBron and Giannis. They don't feel the same. So I thought that was a really good idea by them, but they got to make it where some of the other positions are as powerful as the pass rush, which I don't feel like they are. That's just my opinion on that.
That's a good take by Beach. I agree with you 100% on that. Remember 2 years ago when you would have a 99 over, like Calvin Johnson, right? You would have Calvin Johnson, and it just did not feel like you had Calvin Johnson, right? Because he'll never go up and fight for the football. He'll never go up and make a big play. They all feel the same. And now Patrick Mahomes plays like Mahomes.
Absolutely.
There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
There's clear play styles around the league now, which I think is awesome, but I'll give him credit for that, but also the tuning has to be done. I mean, if there's no change to this system going into next year, I would be upset. There needs to be more abilities for the linemen. I think that's easy, right? Like the X Factors, the superstars. Linemen shouldn't have just 2 abilities. And then I think the way that the abilities are earned has to be tuned. There's too many players in our league right now that have them. So
I don't agree with the dev game stuff. I would like to think they would change that. I don't think you should go into a game knowing, well, if I get 5 touchdowns here in this game, I get an
Yep.
X factor, because you're going to do it, and that's
Yep.
one thing that, and it's not. I really just didn't do it because either I wasn't able to, or I just honestly I always fucking forgot. When I got in the game, I forget I had a fucking dev game, and then before I know it, the game's over. I'm like, and then I see the notification where I didn't get it. I'm like, and Kill Harry had probably 5 or 6 dev games. I never got one. He was star all cycle. But that's my fault for forgetting. But anyways, I think if they change the dev game stuff, I think that would do a lot for not only stat padding, but I think it would add some like a surprise element to getting an X Factor player, which would be kind of cool.
I'm with you on that. Yeah, I do not like going into a game knowing that if I want my player to develop more, I have to get him 3 touchdowns in this game, or I have to get 3 tackles for loss with this guy.
Yeah.
And for us in our league, we can't control the D lineman tackle for loss and the sack, so you're kind of relying on your opponent screwing up, right, or running their running back into your D line 3 times behind the line of scrimmage. So it's just
think about that though. Like that's the difference between a guy who gets 12 sacks and a guy who gets 40 sacks. Is somebody running their guy into you 3 times behind the line?
exactly.
That's just not a good. That's not a good way of doing it. Yeah, I mean, but we can't
I
do
think
anything
it's a
about
good
that. All we
idea.
can do is play what we have.
It's a good idea. They just have to fine tune how they want to go about dev games and shit. I agree. Not knowing going into the game would be better than after the game. It's like, fuck, this guy had a great game. Oh wow, he's ready to take that next jump.
Yeah.
I also wouldn't be opposed to it just being a season thing. Like maybe you have season goals or something like that for a guy. I mean, you're still going to open it up to stat padding, and it's going to happen regardless of what we do. But I think that like a year, because right, a guy's not going to be one way one week and then, oh shit, he just had a really good game. That's it. Now he's going to be a superstar. So I think like after the year, maybe they have a better system of upgrading some of these players. And there's different criteria for each tier that you move up. Because like, I don't know, I had 2 guys 2 years ago. I had Love and I had my linebacker. They both got drafted at normal dev. And they're both superstar dev by the end of the season just because I was able to hit both dev games for both guys. So it's like, I don't know. I kind of don't like it. I mean, it benefited me, so it's great, but they need to have a better system. And I think at the end of the season would be a better way because it's like, oh shit, this guy did have a good rookie year, like, or a good second year, good third year, whatever the case is. All right, maybe he's ready to take that next step and become that next year player. It shouldn't be a week to week thing.
I think the draft stuff, like
The what?
the draft, like getting a random dev for who you draft. I love that idea. I thought that was an awesome idea. But a hidden dev players and normal dev players, okay, cool. But then you don't get to know what that guy. Now, of course, we do know because you can go check DAG leagues. But I'm saying if they were to fix that, that was a really cool idea. What is this? It's cake.
What is this? This cake?
Rose in there. Look, she got a KitchenAid last week and she's baked. I swear to God, every day. She made banana bread last night. Who does that?
Wow.
Who makes banana bread?
She's trying to fatten you up.
My mother.
My mother.
Pat's mother's a saint.
Is she really?
Yeah.
Fucking wonderful woman.
Until you see the real Jake Allen, he came in to say hi to you.
Oh, I do see him. I love him. I love him so much. The greatest creatures on earth are dogs, and the greatest dog is a boxer.
100%.
No one can argue that. And if you have an argument, I don't want to hear it.
Emoji's dog's the devil, so.
My dog's awesome.
What kind?
I have a 100-pound black lab.
Ooh.
He's a psychopath.
He's out of his fucking mind. Just like Mitch, so makes sense.
All right, I got some questions here, so I'm going to fire these off. The first one, who are the players that have been drafted, so like the created rookies, that will be remembered the most from this year? If you have a name, fire it out, and we'll talk about it.
McKinley. Is he one?
McKinley?
Who?
Hold on. I'll tell you his name.
Talking about McFadden?
McFadden?
No.
McKinney?
McKinney.
On the Browns?
Uh-huh.
I think Zoom Elliott for sure.
Elliott.
I say
Atkins
Lee
first
Madden.
round.
I would
Easy.
say Adkins for sure.
Mhm.
Lee Madden.
Solomon, if I'd stop fucking being garbage. Solomon's incredible.
He's the best quarterback.
Booth is really good.
Fuck Booth.
Dude, Solomon's fucking ridiculous. Now the X Factor ability I got is awful. It doesn't work.
What is it?
You break the first attempt to sack you or some shit by uplifting the fence. It's no good. Garbage.
That's so stupid.
Worst.
Yeah, Murray got one that's like scramble for 10 yards on multiple plays. It's so dumb. It's such an absolute waste.
I want Tom Brady's ability back.
Sure you do.
Make all your old linemen better. It's unbelievable.
Then the first fucking
The
read
Jets
pops
just
up.
took a quarterback.
Ooh,
The Jets just took a quarterback. James Morgan.
what's his overall?
No, in
IRL?
Just
Yeah, they did. Florida International. What the fuck are we doing?
What's his overall?
sounds
I
great.
mean, honestly, it's better than fucking David Fowles and Luke Falk.
yeah, you're right.
We took a running back out of Florida too, P. Ryan.
That'll be your
Hey, y'all took P. Ryan?
Yeah.
He went to my high school, man. That guy's he's something. He's kind of slow though. That's the only bad thing.
Y'all took P. Ryan?
Dude, they had like this big event where he came back and they had a bunch of his family in the auditorium and all his youth football coaches. It was really cool.
Nice.
That is
Where'd you go, Sheik?
it's amazing seeing. I mean, I'm a small guy as it is, but it's amazing seeing like guys who leave the high school and then go to college and then come back. How their bodies look different. This dude's fucking forearms look like tanks. When he came up and he shakes your hand, their arms don't look real. They look fake.
Did you rub it for good luck?
I mean, I would have, but no.
He probably wasn't offering that day.
No, he wasn't.
Only handshakes.
Can you imagine Beach just starts rubbing his forearm?
Yeah. Like,
Kind of like when the biggest change I ever seen. C.J. Mosley was like probably 6'3", maybe 170, 180. He wasn't maybe 190. He wasn't skinny, but he wasn't big. And he went to Alabama, came back after 2 years on the program, and his fucking legs went from like the average size of a high school kid to triple that. So I don't know what they do up there, but it's almost, it looks like they take fucking steroids. I know they're not taking steroids, but it looks like
You're on a regimented fucking workout program too, right? So you
Oh,
you
yeah.
have time set aside
and
You
a
have to
nutrition
lift
plan,
every
right?
day.
so yeah, they're doing your meal plan. They're doing your workout schedule. I mean, your life is basically built around that team,
Yeah.
right? Oh boy, the Texans just traded up. What will Bill O'Brien do now?
I'm surprised we took a quarterback out of Florida International with Jake Fromm sitting there.
Yeah, what's Fromm's deal? Why is he still there?
I don't know.
Unathletic, weak arm.
It's bizarre. Sounds like a Patriot.
I think Easton's better than him, man. I really do.
I think him going to the Colts is a really good fit.
Easton went to the Colts.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that is a good pick. He'll be there for Philip when Philip leaves.
Sit behind Rivers, yeah.
Ian, I'm going to direct this one towards you. This was sent to me.
Okay.
For a user, what's the best position to user on defense?
I used to be like linebacker only. This cycle, I kind of bounce around between linebacker, safety, and slot corner. Personally, my favorite this cycle is slot corner. Like I'm using that guy to watch the tight end or the slot receiver just to take away that option. But also, most people are going to throw away from the user. So if I'm watching that guy more often than not, he's running a route somewhere in the middle of the field. So if I'm taking away the middle of the field, especially with the team I have, I'm okay with you throwing at Denzel or Greedy every time. Every time. So it really just depends on, the way your team's built. If I personally, I'm going wherever my guys are not that good. If my linebackers, if I feel like my linebacker group's better than my safeties, I'm going to use my safety. If I feel like my safeties are better than my linebackers, I'm going to go to the linebackers. So I go wherever, like I talked about before, with those deficiencies or in attributes or whatever. If I feel like a guy's not good enough, that's the one I'm going to use to make up for it. So it really just depends on what your team's built like. I don't think there's really any one position to pick.
I agree. I think slot corner is fun. I think it's probably the most fun.
Oh, it's a
I
lot
suck
of
at
fun.
using safeties, so I cannot do it. I don't know how people do it.
I think that's the
Moji,
thing you see too with some of the better users, right? Like they'll fucking change where they're playing based on the play. Like I usually use linebacker primarily, but if I see a bad man-to-man matchup with a tight end on a corner or a tight end on a safety that I think he's going to beat, you got to be able to switch over and make that adjustment and kind of cover the guy yourself.
Yep.
So you'll see some users will literally just sit in one spot the whole game. You know where they are. It's really not a thing. And then there's other guys where you have to take that first second to find out where the user is, and it's like, all right, cool, he's over here. I kind of know what he's doing. Let's stay away from that and see if we can adjust our initial read. And if you can move all around the field, it makes it harder for the offense for sure.
I think being able to be a good user safety, though, is one of the biggest advantages in the league. Because you really just take away any deep play, because you're able to adjust so much easier back there if you're good at it. If you're bad at it, it's the worst thing you could ever do. But the people that have got good at it, you see them excel. All those players are doing much better. So it's one of the things I want to try to do, and every time I try to do it, I just have to give up. So,
Yeah, if you're really good at it, like you said, I mean, it's such an advantage. But then you can see, like, even the guys who are pretty good at it, like Jake, I would say Jake's a pretty good user safety. Then he'll have a play like in the Super Bowl where he just completely blows the coverage, where the CPU player would have been there and it cost him the game.
Well,
right?
he's trying to target on one thing and take the one route away, but it's like, fuck, if you don't see that second route and that other option that's there, you're in fucking trouble.
Like Weed's really good at it, but it didn't benefit him until he got that lockdown corner. And once he had that, he was able to cover the whole other side of the field.
Yep.
And it changed everything on how how he's winning games and playing.
I mean, you could always just say fuck it too and leave your zone early and run around like Cad does. So there's a lot of benefits.
I was waiting for someone to say that. That's awesome. I stick on linebacker because I'm so afraid of getting burned by the angle route from the running back.
Oh my
If you
God.
100%.
That
if you
shit
leave your
is
CPU
so
on that,
fucking
it's a first down
overused.
automatically. It's an automatic first down.
Third and 6, somebody's running it. It's happening.
Oh yeah.
Lefty pulling that shit
100%.
out about 5 times on you. Better be ready.
Yep.
3rd and 5 is
And
coming.
there are certain guys in this league where you know that tight end stick and nod route's coming at some key third down, so then I'm afraid to move off the tight end.
That was more of a Madden 19 staple. I hadn't seen that one as much.
It's still good.
It
It's
still
still
works.
really good.
It still works.
It's
Okay.
still really good.
Okay.
There's nothing more ball breaking than when you're playing man to man and you switch to cover maybe a tight end, and then that fucking halfback angle route comes, and you're like, God, if I didn't switch, it's a fucking easy interception.
Every time I get hit with
You know the
that
tight end's just on a
angle,
streak there, too.
I say
It's such a
clean
kick in the dick, I
The
swear.
tight end's just running a route that can be covered on that. So
The thing too about that is I would say that 80% of the people that run that angle route don't have a second read. Like they only look
Oh,
at the
yeah,
angle
they're
route,
locked.
No doubt.
and then they
100%.
force it. There are some angle route plays where the routes off the angle are better.
yeah, the
But
one
you never
I use a lot has the tight end going up the seam, and it's just easy to read both of them. You can.
Yep.
Yeah.
And one of those is always open. So
But by the 5th time he runs that in the game, you'll be able to catch on. So.
Yeah. That first year when I had James White, I ran that angle route. I ran that angle route so much.
I'm going to miss Lev. Lev was really good at it last year.
He retired, didn't he?
Sure did, but now we have Cohen, so I think I upgraded.
Ooh, the angle route with Cohen. Woo. That shit gonna be ugly.
Yeah.
Silk's gonna love that.
Oh yeah, you gonna be hearing about that one.
Moji, I don't know. Is he running back or a wide receiver? I don't know.
This motherfucker's good.
yeah,
All right, we got another one
my
here.
running back first ability was a wide receiver ability. It's ridiculous.
That's what Kamara had.
Pat, I'm going to start with you on this one. Who was your favorite rivalry from this year of users?
I don't know. It's tough because they've been such a mix. Like the Weed one's not fun because I just can't beat him. It was fun early in the year when he just wasn't winning games, but he was still beating me when it was happening. The Tico one's been entertaining, but it's just the exact opposite. I've been beating him. The fights and the anger that come out to it, we get along for the most part afterwards, but it's been a lot of entertainment that's come out
I
of it.
fucking hates you.
I think my favorite was the beach slander early on was I missed that after he won the Super Bowl and just talking shit, and then me and him actually getting to play and him beating me after all the shit I talked was a real good one. And then me and Jake is just forever probably the Allen Bowls are the most fun games that we have.
Yeah, you go to Julie's Fun to Play.
Yes.
From this year, I don't know. There's a lot of good ones this year. I think this cycle has had some of our most fun head-to-head people. Moji White Greg is pretty good, and it's not really a rivalry, but it's like
it's a squash match like 9 out of 10 times.
The games don't have to be fair. It's the shit talking that goes in before and afterwards. Oh
my god! Look at this pick beat on just me.
Skip.
This motherfucker.
Skip. Browns Ravens is pretty. I would say AFC North had some good rivalries.
Those
overall.
are two really good teams, though.
Yeah.
Browns and Ravens are two really good teams.
I kind of like the secret hatred between Glenn and all the AFC North teams. I kind of love that because Glenn never talks.
Funny. I was loud as fuck about that all cycle, and then like the last season or two, Cad and Spence are just like, "Yeah, we don't like him either." It's like, motherfuckers, I've been saying this shit for months.
He's not very fun to play. I'll tell you that.
No, not at all.
Cad just goes whatever way the fucking wind blows. So he'll jump on board with whatever fucking narrative is popular in chat.
100%.
Man, I don't play Glenn enough, I guess, but it's that bad, huh?
It's just it's
There
not
was the one
that-
game I had this I think it was last season where I was actually get annoyed, and I don't get annoyed that bad very often. It was rough.
It's not fun to play against.
What does he do?
That kick return shit is so fucking lame, Adele. That
Yep.
has to be a
Right.
rule.
That
Kick return shit is so dumb. Especially with
diagonal
fucking
thing,
John
doesn't he?
Ross.
Yeah. He goes straight toward the fucking sideline.
That needs to be a rule. It's so dumb.
That shit's annoying. For sure.
Like
I agree with
incredibly fucking annoying.
Yeah, because you do it too, you lame fuck.
If I'm running the kick return to the left with the blocking strategy, I'm going to run to the left side of the field.
You have no strategy. Shut up.
If you point your stick towards the sideline when you catch a punt, you're a clown.
There is one reason you're doing that. It is to get the juke angle on whoever is running on the field. That's the only reason.
Of
The
course.
only kick return I had all year was straight up the middle with a juke, so it stopped going to the sideline a lot.
Man, that random Glenn slander. We've almost talked about everybody, and Glenn's nothing was positive. That's too bad. I hope he's not listening to this because that would have hurt his feelings.
Odds are he's not listening.
No, he's not listening. But if he is, Glenn, we love you. It's just
I love Glenn. I think
don't
he's
run to
great.
the sideline.
Oh, he
Don't
is
run to the
listening.
sideline.
His kick return shit is my only complaint about Glenn. I love Glenn. I think he's great.
Jets are on the clock, and then the Vikings. You love to see it.
We're on the clock. Oh yeah, we have a lot of picks today. So do you guys. You guys have an absurd amount.
We have 13 picks. It's insane.
I think we have 9.
We got more questions here. Holy crap.
On the clock, New York Jets. So here we go. We've taken a running back and a quarterback this round.
That's interesting. Here's a question. How do you beat Aston?
Score.
Pray.
I think he'll take this as criticism, but it's not. I think it's easier is not the right word, but it's more feasible to beat him this year than it was when he had that Ravens team. I don't think there's any doubt. in my mind
sure.
about
Because of the quarterback.
that. Yeah, it's the quarterback first of all. Like Ian said, you can game plan around the rush, and I don't know. You just
Play on the
you
field.
gotta
Take out
force.
my notepad real quick.
You can't turn the ball over. That would be my thing if I had to break it down to one thing is you cannot turn the ball over.
Oh, you have to play an A game when you're facing him. You can't you can't turn the ball over, and you can't play sloppy and expect to come out of that with a victory. You have to be on your game.
Is Man's here?
Do you have any actual tips? Because this has been some nonsense.
He's got his pad out. I hate
I got to
that
play him
so
this year,
much.
so
He took his notepad out.
I don't think Man's is here.
No, he's not.
No, it's time to move on from this. I'm sick and tired of waiting for him.
Better pick than he would have made anyway.
Who did you guys vote your least fun to plays last season?
You.
Oh yeah, you voted me, didn't you? I voted you as well.
Perfect.
I voted you as well, didn't I?
Yep.
When did we even play? It was early in the year.
Like week 2.
Week 2. Yeah.
I don't remember. Who did I vote least fun?
Did you vote White Greg?
No, I enjoyed my games with White Craig this year.
You remember who you picked? Glenn?
Maybe Glenn. I might have voted Glenn too.
He was my other pick, I think.
Just because that kick return shit is so lame.
Oh shit! He said yeah.
Moji Jets took another tackle.
Sick.
Cameron Clark.
6'5", 308.
I voted Pat, and I can't remember. I play Glenn this year, so I guess I can give my real opinion.
I voted
after this
Adele and
season.
Blueprint. I still have
You might not do it now since we were talking shit.
I won't get the same treatment.
You don't.
You'd be surprised, man. There's some guys that do give it to us. They do. There's the fullback.
Maybe I voted Pat. I might have voted
It's
Pat.
just Jake and Adele.
Why'd you vote
Oh,
Jake?
I voted Silk. That's who it was. That was fucking miserable.
All right,
Silk
let's get it live on the live stream.
Silk
Adele.
runs silent snap count. He doesn't fucking. If there's 34 seconds on the play clock before he hikes the ball, that's a blessing. Like you can't even like if you blink, forget it. The ball snapped. It's unbelievable. And he left sticks you like woo.
I'll never forget.
Silk?
That motherfucker's not fun to play. Thank God he's garbage.
Man, Silk is getting old.
Jeez.
Give that man a break.
I got yelled at for like my 3rd game ever playing in Red Zone by B. Bradley forever ago for quick snapping. I was like, didn't even know I was doing anything wrong.
Well, God forbid you do something semi like questionable, you'll hear about it for a month.
All right, I gotta wait on Adele to get back. We're gonna ask him about Cave. I hope Cave's watching. He probably didn't though.
Cave's probably watching.
It says he has hockey loaded up.
He picks in like 2 picks, so.
This guy in his hockey.
Alright. Do I have anyone left on my draft board?
I don't know.
Allen Way.
The Allen way. You have one thing scouted, so I love it. Do I pick before you?
Beach, what were you gonna ask me?
All right, Adele. How long is Cave gonna be gone?
1 year. He'll be back in 2021. 22.
I just wanted to get on a record.
100%. Reasoning, because he'll stay in chat. The itch will come back. Maybe it'll come back right away. Like when we start doing all the media and stuff, he'll tough it out, and then a couple spots will be open going into Madden 22. And he'll ask.
And
That's my prediction.
He better get a fucking late pick. That's all I know.
Absolutely. Do you agree with that sentiment, or do you think he's done?
I completely agree. I just know I've been there. I know how it feels when, like, I was completely tired of playing. Like, I just didn't like playing anymore. I know we use this bit a lot. I was really busy. I was doing a bunch of shit. I overloaded myself, to be honest, because I don't like to just be the guy playing games and not doing anything. We used to do stuff like this all the time. Not the video stream, but we did a lot of podcasts about stuff. At least once a month, we got to do something. And I just felt like I wasn't able to do it, and then I wasn't winning. That's brutal when you don't win. But Cave won. He just won 2 Super Bowls.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're telling me that don't mean shit to him, he's fucking lying. Like,
he's lying. Absolutely.
It is a ridiculous. It's like it's not even real. Like, I thought I had no chance to beat Mo. I was just happy to fucking play in the game, and then we started playing, and I was fucking making reads and they were right, and I was like, I can beat this fucking guy.
And Beach, I'm going to tell you right now, nobody else thought you had a chance.
No,
That's why
I know that.
it's so unbelievable.
Yeah, no, I know.
Like, no disrespect. It's just Moji's been
If
there,
I had
done
beat
that.
Moji in that game and I get to go against Beach in the Super Bowl, it would have been the greatest feeling I've ever had.
Yeah, but you fucking did it.
Moji walks right in. Nah, but you didn't.
It's fun, man. So I think Cave. I think once he gets out of it for, I'd say a couple months, man. Like you get out of it for about 3 months, and you're in chat still, and everybody's having. Especially if the game is good, which we don't.
Yeah.
I know we always say, we are always
We all have to
hopeful.
say it's good. Just to piss Cave off.
Yeah.
Right.
We're always optimistic, but
What's gonna happen is like we'll lose 2 or 3 users, just like the random, riffraff that comes in and out. Everyone's gonna tag Cave. He's gonna say no. He's gonna say no. He's gonna say no. Eventually, he will crack before the cycle ends. I think. I want to say like the 3rd or 4th user that leaves that we need to replace, he'll jump in.
I hope it's not that many because I hate replacing people.
Yeah.
It's one of the worst parts of the job.
Happens every cycle.
getting Remesso and Rock back is massive. That's huge.
Fourth round.
Ian Cave's your buddy. What do you think? You think he's done?
As long as he says he's done, he's done. Maybe we'll see him back in like a year or two. If he gets that itch again. I think it's kind of like the opposite of what Beach was saying. I haven't won one yet, but I think Cave's been around for a while. So maybe like winning 2 is kind of like he's met that goal, like he's fulfilled. So maybe he's like, all right, I can do without this for a little while. You know what I mean? Not to say he won't ever be back, but he might take some time off.
Yeah.
You might be right. Yeah, I didn't think about it from that perspective.
He's a normal to slow linebacker.
I've never really had the goal in my mind of winning a Super Bowl. I just play, and I got first year I got lucky and I made it. But for him, for playing as long as he has, it might have just been like, well, I'm going to win one, and then when I win one, I'm good. I'm gonna take a break. But I don't know.
So you don't have a goal to win it every year?
Well, it just doesn't seem. I'm just going to being straight up. It just doesn't seem like a realistic possibility for me because I'm not the best. First of all, I'm not the best Madden player. Second of all, I'm not a football mind. So I just kind of play and try to do the best I can and build the best team I can. And first year, I had fucking Tom Brady. I mean, that's what it came down to. But that's how I look at it. For him, though, he's been playing this shit for,
since we started.
He's
been here since since day one.
So you play 60 seasons and you're always in the playoffs and you're always in the NFC Championship game. I'm sure he probably had a little more invested in the goal aspect than I did.
Not winning one eats at you, man. When you're there that long, it fucking eats at you.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Especially if you make that game, the championship game, or you make the Super Bowl and you lose that shit, bro. Like, I've called out of work so many times for losing a fucking big playoff game.
I have to. It's sad, man.
It is sad, but like you're so invested in this, and like for you to get that close, and for me, that's my goal every year. If I don't win a Super Bowl, it's a fucking waste of the season. Like I went 14-2 this year and couldn't care less. Like I lost in the playoffs to Jake, so it was a disaster every year. When you don't win, and especially if you're that close, like you make the Super Bowl, it fucks with you.
Yeah. Did you call into work after our game?
100%.
Good.
Beach, not only did you win the title, but you took 8 hours of his PTO.
We could have played that game on a Friday night. I would have called out on Monday.
Damn.
Yeah.
I probably take my ass to work. I'm super fucking greedy with my off time. Like I've saved every sick day. I haven't used a sick day yet. So I'll go in that bitch. I'm like shit, and I'll go in. But I would have been very, very upset. I'm not gonna lie. Like I at work, I'll be on my computer looking at Daddy League stuff. Like this kid is a big part of our lives.
I think with this whole the virus thing and the quarantine that I don't think PTO is going to matter for a lot of companies this year. I mean,
probably not.
I feel like I'm taking vacation every day and I'm working. It's so bizarre, man. Like, got another one here. I got a question that says, "Do Ram and Rock stick around for next cycle?"
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, for
Absolutely.
sure.
Absolutely.
Them
I've got
being
an
back,
Xbox for next year.
them being back does
It's huge.
it does
Oh, I'm
so
on the
much.
clock.
Dude, just having Ramesu is so good that he just knows football. I honestly don't know a whole lot about. I hadn't talked to Rock a whole lot, but we used to play pro-am with him, and
I
he's a
fucking
cool. He's
love
just kind of a quiet guy.
Rock is awesome.
Yeah, he's cool
Yeah, I mean, Rock bought an Xbox for the purpose of playing in the league. So
I'll love Ramesu again in about a month.
in about a month.
Shit, y'all love him now. He gave you a receiver a Christmas gift.
Well, he thinks he's like the mad scientist by doing that. He's got a method to his madness. There's not one.
He needs a generational back.
He sure does. His running back's actually pretty good. Fucking pain in the ass.
Wow, this guy's not good. 82 elusiveness. That's not bad. But yeah, Rock and Ram will be here. Now that the draft is basically over, what are the top teams for Madden 21? He's saying like the real draft. It's like, who are the top choices next year? I think Tampa, obviously. I think people really want Tampa, especially with the way that people know the way abilities work now. I think people are going to want Brady. I think they're going to want. I mean, Gronk being back is awesome.
Cowboys are a big pick.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Dolphins are one of the first 5 teams going.
Mm-hmm. If you're a rebuild guy, there's no better team to take than Miami or Jacksonville, because Jacksonville still has the Rams first next year too. So then you're going to get those 2 first. That Ramsey trade's terrible, by the way. That's a terrible trade.
Yeah.
I think if I'm going to make I don't think it's a bold prediction. My prediction right now for who will go 32 is the Texans. I don't think anyone wants them. Yeah, you get Watson.
I would take them ahead of other teams. And not just like divisional teams I hate. Like there's other teams I would take them ahead of. You have Watson and then you have a clean how much money do they have tied in other than Watt on that team? They don't have a ton of big contracts, do they? David Johnson's gone after a year.
Yeah, they do. They have those terrible receiver contracts that they traded for. They traded for Brandon Cooks. They signed Randall Cobb to a terrible deal.
Cobb, I forgot about Cobb.
They gave him like $28 million guaranteed.
But you have Cooks and you have Fuller, who's not going to be the injury-prone mess he is in real life.
Right.
I mean, David Johnson's gone after a year. Getting Deshaun Watson alone is just so enticing. I would take Deshaun Watson in a second. I'll fix the rest.
I still think Baltimore's a great one.
Oh, of course.
100%.
I'll stand by my thing I said yesterday, where if a good user takes them, they're going to win the Super Bowl the first year.
Yeah, they should.
I don't even think that's a hot take either. I mean,
No.
I keep forgetting they have Calais Campbell now.
Well, if Aston gets the fucking Ravens or something like that, hang it up. Hang it
He
up.
won't take the Ravens.
He probably won't. I see him taking the Panthers again.
If he gets lucky.
Yeah, if he gets him on his list, you get a brand new quarterback, which he's probably not going to keep him. He'll get a chance to draft.
He's not going to keep Teddy.
Yeah. Is his deal bad? I don't know Teddy's deal.
It's not bad, but it's not what you would pay Teddy. He got a 3-year deal, so it's relatively short, but yeah, just what Beat needed a fullback. Aston's one of those guys though where it's hard to kind of place him, where I don't know if he wants a rebuild. I don't know if he wants a great team.
Pruitt said skip, by the way. My bad. He said it in the main chat.
Well, that's a bad pick. Yeah, I don't know, but Tampa, Dallas, Miami, Jacksonville.
I think the Chargers could be fun.
I mean, the Chiefs, right?
The Bengals are not a bad team to pick either.
If the Chiefs show up in your 5, you're going to think about it.
The Broncos are a good team.
Bro, if the Chiefs are one of your 5,
they should be your first.
Fuck it. You got to take that team. Mahomes, Tyreek.
Yeah. I think Cave made a really good point yesterday, actually, where he said that I think it'd be kind of tough to take Green Bay, right? Because
Yeah.
you're either going to trade Rodgers or you're going to
Trade Love.
trade their first round pick.
I'm trading Love and getting a better quarterback rate.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to see what Love comes in as. You know, if he's hidden dead or has any weird thing like that, you know, you dev him up for a little while, and you have to keep Rodgers for 2 years. The cap penalty you're taking year 1 or 2 is insane. But after that, I mean, it's not much different than it was.
I'd go back to Green Bay in a fucking second.
It's not much different than it
That
was.
secondary and that defense they have is fucking nice out there.
Defense is really good.
You get good Aaron Jones, like you still have really good Devontae Adams. I mean,
Aaron Jones is
you've
much
got good
better next year
players.
too, in the Bucs.
You get the corners. You get Zadarius Smith. You get
You got Savage out there. Yeah, you have the edge rushers. You're getting the good Smith brothers, not the ones that Pat got stuck with this year.
Yeah, they'll be better.
Packers not a bad team. I would take the Packers.
I think you just keep the quarterbacks how they are. You try to dev Jordan Love. You try for a little while and then trade Rodgers for what you can get him for. I made the mistake of just never trading Rodgers.
I think the Lions might be high up on the list too, especially if the game's like it is this year. Like
I'm with you on the Lions.
they got a nice little rebuild squad. They just got Okuda
and Desmond Trufant.
Yeah, if it's anything like this, like Madden 20, having those corners is going to give you a head start.
Yep.
I think the Patriots are a much tougher take than Green Bay.
Greg, Moji.
The Patriots is a fun rebuild, though. Like, it's a tough take, but it's just a rebuild from day one, and it'd be a lot of fun,
Well, and they have a ton of picks next year, too. I mean, they I think in this draft they have 13, 14 picks, and then next year I think they have 12.
They have like 8 picks from second to fourth round. So
yeah,
I'm pretty sure they just drafted some guy in the second round that Bill Belichick paid to go to a D2 school for 4 years. So the guy's going to end up being one of the greatest safeties of all time.
No doubt. Even the Vikings, right? Pat, I know you wouldn't, but there's just something about having that amount of rookies. And like with the Vikings, you get 2 rookie corners, you get a rookie wide receiver, you get 2 rookie edge rushers. I mean, that's the stuff. That's kind of the stuff I look at, where it's just like
that's the fun part of the game. That's like the fun part of the game too, is being able to dev up guys like that, and even if the team's not good out of the box, like you take a little pride in what they become. So
even the Raiders, I think the Raiders might be fun with Ruggs.
This is definitely a fun team.
Jacobs,
Marcus.
You replaced the quarterback, but
Mariota's there.
Oh, sorry, I forgot Pruitt wasn't here. Look at this guy. He has red hair. What the hell? All right, I got another one here. So looking at the entire cycle, who is your least fun from the whole year? I would say answer it like who is consistently least fun here.
G-Star.
G-Star?
The worst, bro. Fucking Lob City. I felt like I'm watching old clips of the Clippers. Just a Lob City everywhere.
Oh, that's gross.
I don't know. I don't know if I have someone who's consistent. I feel like I noticed like waves of people that were annoying.
I think people adjust too based on what they're seeing. So they change their gameplay.
Mine would probably be Cat, because I had to face him twice a season, and the way he built that team was fucking annoying, especially because I'm like Beach, where like I've never been like exceptional running the ball. It's only been something that was kind of like an addition to my offense, if anything. Like I've been airing it out since the first season of the cycle. So like for Cat to like build up his secondary the way he did, then he goes out and gets like an Aaron Donald in free agency or trade or whatever, and it was just like not like maybe for a different reason. Like he's not fun to play, not because he's lame or anything, but because he built up his team so well. It was just like difficult to play against, and it wasn't fun to play against. It was fucking hard. Like you actually had to play against him to win the game. So that's why I'd probably give him like my least fun for the cycle.
You can look at it different ways too. Like, I like playing Cave, but playing him like the first 4 years was fucking brutal because my team sucked so much, and he had Buckner and Bosa day one.
Yeah.
And then they both end up getting X Factor, and it's just like, and that was during the time where it's like, I didn't know what to do with those guys, so it was just every single game they were just destroying me. But I like playing him. It's just that was really fucking brutal to go against every week.
Landon.
There you go. Glenn got his quarterback.
Come on.
Glenn's still watching. Glenn, we love you. I promise it's not all negative. My least fun though, like actually, G-Star was brutal, man. He was brutal. I agree with you, Moji, on that. Like gameplay wise, he's up there with some of the worst we've had. I'm looking through right now at some other teams. I don't know. I don't know. That's got to be my favorite. I think we're at a pretty good point as a league overall, with like users, right? Like I feel like most weeks you're going to get a good game and a good fair game out of people. I don't know if you guys agree with me on that, but I'd say for the most part.
I do agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really don't see a lot of like calling out of, actual broken rules. I mean, you see some like little things people think you're out of the zone. It can be debated here and there, but like there's not like major like left sticks, like super cheesy things that people aren't realizing they did. A lot of it's almost a debatable argument that, there's always going to be frustrations. So I don't think there's anything that's horribly out of the box.
It's gotten a lot better since I joined. I kind of remember what year it was, like 3 or 4 cycles ago. But every other game or so, you would have, like I had to play fucking Semper. Semper was the worst. That son of a bitch played the defensive line constantly.
And you would always say it was an accident.
You'd always say sorry.
Accident.
Sorry, got stuck there.
I'm like, bro, you're not just stuck there. You're actually making pass rush moves. Can you stop doing that, please?
You're not stuck there. You sacked me.
Yeah. Like he's doing finesse. He's smashing X.
Yeah, X twice and got around 2 blockers and sacked me. That's not an accident.
Just pulling spin moves.
We don't have stuff like that anymore, though. It's a lot cleaner.
I will say though, when clips go into main chat, they get blown out of proportion. Right, they get a lot worse than they need to be.
Yeah, definitely. But I don't think it hurts as much as it used. Like it used to, like make the league. It used to tarnish the league a little bit. I don't think it does that anymore.
For sure.
Like Cat, if somebody posts a clip of Cat fucking running out of his zone, and we're all like, oh, there goes Cat again. It's not like, oh, Get this fucking guy out of here. He's the worst. It's different.
I think it's like therapeutic in a way, putting those clips in there because it kind of keeps people in check, right? Like
if you don't, people
just a friendly reminder, like you can't do that. That's not the rules. Ooh, I gotta ask you guys this. Okay, so this happened to me in a game this year. We don't have a rule about it, but I want you to give me your perspective, as I would say all of us here are pretty sim users, since Pat's not on the screen.
Yeah, stay over there. Fuck out of here.
What's your take on if you run 2-man under and you're the linebacker that's covering the running back? If your running back stays in the block, what do you do?
Usually I blitz.
Blitz.
I blitz.
Or I'll
blitzing
play the hook zone wherever I'm standing.
Yeah, I just play the hook zone.
It's one of the two.
So is blitzing considered, like, is that sim? Like, do you
I know
guys
that's
agree
what you're
with that?
supposed to do.
I don't think we've made a decision either
Because,
way.
right, if you drop back into a zone, now it turns into the argument, well,
You were a
how
man.
far is too far? Like, did I play out of my zone? Because there's not like that
Right.
pre-play thing where it's like, hey, I'm supposed to be between this hash and this hash, and it's like, I don't know. I feel like that could be construed as like, all right, you're out of your zone, you way overran a play. But if you blitz because your guy's blocking, like, you didn't do it. That guy left that guy in for a reason. Now I'm running up to where he is. If I'm in man-to-man, I don't think that's. I think that's what you should do.
Yeah, I
don't have a problem with it either way. It basically, for me, just removes that. I think it's called one linebacker fire or something, where you blitz one linebacker out of the nickel.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of just removes that play then, doesn't it? Why would you run that when you can just run 2-man under and just take the safe route? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just, I didn't think it was unsim, but it happened to me this year. I was like, oh, are people doing that? Like, is that what I've been missing out on? Because I haven't done that. If I was the linebacker and the running back,
it depends on who I'm playing to in this situation, right? If I see a drag clearly coming, yeah, my ass is probably going to sit there and play the hook zone. But, if everyone's running verticals down the field, I'm not just going to sit there by myself, doing nothing. So I'll go after the quarterback. Or I may play a spy, right? Like if I'm playing a guy who has a mobile quarterback, then I'm going to make sure he doesn't beat me. And the one thing I can control is him running around.
I think as long as at that point you're not turning and sprinting back or doing something that's already against the rules, like you're not going to be able to get back that far unless the guy's just sitting there forever anyway. Because you're most likely taking a step up to begin with in man coverage on the running back like that. So, you know.
Well, and I think people do out-sim themselves, right? Like I've seen it before where like I'm scrambling with the quarterback and they're using the linebacker and they don't rush me. Like they let me go. And it's like the rule is you're allowed, if I start sprinting, you can leave to chase me.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the rule.
I'm taking off with you.
Oh, 100%.
Any moment there.
Stupid ass.
If I see someone sprinting, I take off with them. And then the other thing too is the other part of that kind of rule is if you see a screen, you are allowed to play the screen.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't do that either. And
you have to. He's not allowed to throw it anywhere else. I mean,
you're not allowed to throw it anywhere else. And screens are so broken in this game anyways, right? Like user defenders are terrible playing zones, or CPU defenders, I mean.
I don't run screens because I know it works for a lot of people, but so many users know when they're coming and they just attack it. Like
I pray you run a fucking
they know you have to throw it there.
Please do.
It almost ruins it for me. It's, like you're saying, so many people don't do that. They don't react to it. So
there are some people in this league you can't run screens against because they're so good at defending them.
I mean, if you watch the O-line come off, you know when it's happening. So
exactly. Well, that and those 90 speed line or those 86, 87 speed linebackers too. Who do I want?
I mean, fuck the linebackers. If you're playing the Rams, you'll see a safety come down.
I don't disagree with you on that one.
Remember when was it last cycle that Silk went off on Spitta about bringing safeties into the box?
What is it Silk going off on Spitta?
It's always something, but that was his big point of contention last cycle.
Man, oh man, who do we want here? There's so many good players available. Holy Hannah, this guy's terrible.
So, Del, if you can have any team next cycle, which you can, you leave? He's gone.
Yuck.
Is he fast? I had him on my list of people to.
Yeah, he has 94 grab. Speed and 91 acceleration. Everything else is like a 60 or a 50.
If only we could use our wide receivers and make sure they catch the ball.
Yeah, right. Maybe he'll be a good kick returner. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if he has any sort of juke move, can he juke at all?
Let me go back and see, because I didn't even look.
That and his kick return rating isn't any good at all. I've been told the blocking matters, but who knows?
His kick return is 84. His juke is ass is 67.
Yeah, so he'll have good blocking. He just won't be able to make a move on anyone.
Yeah.
Is he pretty fast?
So, Adele, since you get to pick whatever team you want next cycle, who's it going to be?
It's a good question. I don't know. I think in my random group of teams that show up to me, if like the Chiefs showed up, I think I would take them. I think
you want to have the few good years and then try to figure it out?
Exactly. Or I would take the Jaguars. If the Jaguars showed up, I would take them. I like having like all those extra picks, especially early in the cycle. Everyone knows the first two drafts are the most important. You get these guys forever if they turn out good.
100%.
Just having those players is unbelievable. And with Jacksonville, I mean, they basically just blew it up, right? Like I can name like 8 players on their team, I think. So that team, or I think Kansas City would be fun. I don't know. What about you, Pat? Like, what if you got 3? What if you got the 3rd overall pick? What's your dream?
I don't know. I don't have a dream right now. I just had the Packers by luck because I didn't answer you the first time because they weren't.
Oh my God, that's right.
I would have had the Patriots if I had looked. The Patriots were my first thing I would have taken them. I honestly don't know right now. You know, it's one of the times I wish I knew who I was teaming up with and could go that direction. So it's gonna be a weird. You know, I'm probably gonna fuck it up because I'm probably gonna see 5 teams and you know, there's gonna be one that sticks out. I don't want the Bucks. I don't want some of those teams. You know, to be honest, I've been joking about taking the Broncos just for Aaron to do my media. I think I'd actually like to take. I like having a young quarterback.
You can't do your own media.
What? If Aaron's going to do it for me, I mean, that's just a huge benefit.
And it'd be awesome. Judy and
yeah, I mean, the wide receivers there are great. I'd like to air it out. You know, if he comes in, if QB's any good in game, you know, it'd be a lot of fun. But we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a story that most people know. So during the thing, I put everyone on a timer. So if you didn't answer me in a certain amount of time, I would skip you and say that once you've appeared again, we would re-roll your 5 teams. So the first time that Pat was on the clock, he didn't answer me. So I sent him something like, we're gonna skip past you if you don't make your pick here. And the Patriots were one of the 5. Green Bay wasn't on his list. So Pat would have taken the Patriots if he had been
So
there.
now I'm going to pretend I didn't see the message, and I'm just going to re-roll if I don't like my 5 teams.
Right. There you go.
Pretty sure I was golfing with you at Heather.
No, I was in the movie theater when Adele fucking texted me. I made sure I gave Adele my cell phone number. I'm like, look, I'm in the movies. Like, text me when I'm up.
Yeah.
I was golfing. I literally just looked at it, and I saw the teams. If you're not here, you won't do it. I skipped you, Pat. I responded. He reset me teams a second later. The Packers were on, and I said thank you. I don't think I said the Packers. I just said thank you. And we knew what team I had selected, so.
I had some shit teams, though. I had the Saints.
The Vikings were in my 5.
I had the Saints. I think I had the Saints, the Bears, the Panthers. I don't want to go to any of these teams.
I had the Patriots.
You had the Patriots, yeah.
That's it. Adele actually wrote me back like 20 minutes later. Was like, hey, actually, you can have the Bills if you want. Since I'm gonna put you above Outlaw. I'm like, no, fuck it, give me the goddamn last pick. I'll take the Patriots.
Oh yeah, I forgot Outlaw was in the league for like a month.
Yep. Yeah, pick 3-1.
Ooh, here's a good question. Moji, I'll ask this one to you first. Did any user in your mind make a big jump up or down from their previous standing in Madden 19? So, like, did a user that you viewed as bad become a good user? Did a good user become a bad one, or something like that? That's a good question.
I think Cad got a lot better.
Yeah.
Cad definitely improved a lot.
Ian, I think you got a lot better.
Ian got a lot better. I mean,
Jake
got better. Cave got better. They finally got over that hump. Beach got better. He got over the hump.
Some guys who I think are worse, right off the top of my head, Ikem. I think Ikem's a lot worse.
Easily.
Mans, Tico.
Mans got worse. Tico, I don't
Silk.
Did he still get worse?
Yeah, I think he got worse.
I know.
Just scrolling through the teams right now.
I think JP took a step back.
Yeah. I think Blueprint got a little better on the field.
I think Addison got worse. He didn't win as many rings this cycle.
Yeah.
I think Spitta got a little bit better, honestly. I never bought into Spitta last cycle when he made a couple of championships or whatever. I just didn't buy in. I feel he's definitely a better user now. I think Lefty, even though he won, Lefty got, I don't know, wasn't great last cycle either. Lefty's so hard to place. I just hate his fucking game style. I hate it.
It's interesting because he's really consistent, right? Like he finishes top. I think right now he's top 5 in win percentage as a regular season user.
Probably, yeah, close.
But it's hard. Like I don't know.
It's just I can't fear someone who I know if I have a lead and they have to pass the ball, they don't have a chance. Like honestly, if he's losing in the fourth quarter, I don't think he has a prayer. So it's really difficult to fear someone like that. But 9 times out of 10, he's in a spot where he can just run the clock out and he's in good shape. So I don't know. He's a hard person for me to put a finger on.
Would I say he got worse? No, but
I see him on the schedule, and it's not like I'm not like, oh shit, I really got to prep, and like you know what you're getting, and either you make the tackles or you don't. It's kind of what that game is like.
I would say if I had to pick one person who got a lot better this year, I think Cad I think is the easy answer, but I don't know if we had enough on him. And he kind of came in mid last year, didn't he? Like he didn't come in right away.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I would say he's improved the most. I mean, it's hard, man. I mean, usually every year we have one person who it's clear cut, right? Like it's clear cut. Holy crap, you took a jump, or holy crap, you took a step back. I mean, Beach, no offense, you won the Super Bowl year 1 and then you've disappeared. So you were the easy decision after the first season.
I think I made the playoffs 2 more times after that, but I lost first round both times. So
gotcha. The
I
AFC
played.
East.
Who the fuck did I play? I can't remember.
Oh, yeah, you made it the second with Brady again.
And it's chilly.
I can't remember who I lost to. I think I lost to Aston.
I would say Ian's in that mix. Absolutely. I mean, 14-2, 15-1 with the asterisk. I would say is.
I would say before like the last season, ET would definitely be someone who I think was worse. He had a really bad cycle, in my opinion, until like the last 2 years.
Yep, I agree with you.
But now
he got good.
Yeah, he had a great season last season. So, and he had a lot of injuries, and he was pretty good the year before that also. But before that, I think he was an easy pick for like the biggest drop off.
Mm-hmm.
But he kind of redeemed himself.
If Moji doesn't win a title this cycle, does he fall off a little bit? What do you think?
100%.
Especially with who
This
is playing in that division already.
this cycle's been a disaster for me. Not a good one.
I wouldn't say he falls off, but I would say he gets the treatment that I receive until I won one last year.
Well,
Where
I
it's just
also
like,
it hasn't
you're
been
always
35 years in between.
right.
It's relaxed.
But it's like you fall into that category where it's like you're always there, but you never can get that 4th or 3rd game in a row. So
Which is fair. I'm telling you, this has been a failure if I don't win one. So
What's the Vegas line on the Saints winning this season? What do you think, Mike?
probably about plus 600.
Damn, that high?
I think it's fair.
second or third favorite in the
It's gonna be
NFC.
so bad. I can't wait.
He's in the top 3 favorites in the NFC to win it.
Who are the favorites? Let's hear it, Medell. Who's number 1?
In the NFC,
I mean, realistically, I think that Cave, I think that Adele, I think that Jake, if he gets his head on right,
Moji.
or myself are probably, if one of those 4 go, you're not surprised. You're probably like, all right, that sounds right.
I think your wild cards from that group are Spitta,
Spitta for sure is a wild card.
Weed,
Yep.
Pat,
No.
and then Lefty. I would say
Fucking
those
sucks.
are my wild
This
cards.
past one time.
Pat's like quietly won 10 games every
I
season.
should have been in the Super Bowl besides a fucking user fucking interference thing. I would have beat Smokes. He never would have had the asterisk on the Super Bowl, and this all would have been over with. 100%.
AFC, I think it's Aston, Ian Johns, and Cad.
Yeah.
Those are my favorites.
No, don't put me in there. I'm done.
No way.
I just think that Aston's
team's
so
good.
far ahead of like some of these other guys like a Cad that it's just so tough. Like if they go head to head, I don't see any way Cat wins that game.
It's not even a game.
He just doesn't have enough competition in the conference. Like that's the problem, right? Like in the NFC, I mean, if you get a third place schedule, you're facing heavy hitters almost every week. Like if you're in the third place schedule this year, you're playing Cave, you're playing who am I thinking of in the NFC?
White Greg.
You're playing Tico or Mans. You're playing White Greg, and you're playing who am I forgetting?
Sin probably in the NFC East. Was he second?
No, the NFC East.
Yeah.
Oh, it was Lefty this year.
Sin was second.
It would be Lefty.
It would be Lefty.
Yeah.
Like if you're a third place, you're playing Lefty and you're playing Cave. Like what? If you're a last place schedule, you play Toph, which is ridiculous.
Sounds about right.
And then the first place schedule, it's me, Moji, Jake, and Weedseed.
Yeah.
So it's like, but in the AFC East, I mean, no disrespect to Blue, but you get to play the AFC East, and you get to play, you
play 2 AI games.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's tough, man. Like I agree. I do think Aston's kind of in a tier of his own at this point. All that. Well, and then even when Aston plays the best divisions in the NFC, he usually at least goes 3-1 against them. So it's not like you can even make that argument.
Just a fucking great user, man.
I think if there are odds on who wins Super Bowl this year, Aston's like minus 400 in my book. I really do.
He's the favorite in this conference every single year to appear.
I think he's minus 400 to win the Super Bowl. Like you can't cover his receivers. He's got two rushers who are going to get 35, 40 plus sacks. He's got linebackers who have 85 plus speed. He's got corners he's got 2 X factor safeties, which I know we say safeties don't matter, but if they're in man coverage, they're going to guard.
The hard hitting ones matter.
Yeah, and they fumble. Mm-hmm. People fumble constantly. So
just that enforcer shit.
Good fucking luck. That's really
all you have one of those safeties, and you actually make someone who breaks it to the second tier as a running back and doesn't want to try to juke you, literally just wants to have the tackle happen. It changes everything.
Yeah, NFC, it's tough. I mean, there's some guys where it depends on the week, right? Like, what Jake are you going to get? What lefty are you going to get? What Cave are you going to get? I guess I can't say that about Cave because last year was his only year where he missed. But Aston, it's so consistent. And the team is good. That's the part of it, too. He can afford mistakes. And Ian, you know that, right? I mean, he made a couple. He didn't have some. The first half was close.
He didn't score much in the first half.
Gets.
Yeah,
right. But it's so tough to go down the field against that defense.
And then he fucking punts and puts you on the 2-3 yard line every time. Like, what the? I mean, a lot of that was pure luck. But I mean, still, just that's part of it too. Getting lucky. He's been pretty fortunate throughout his time as well.
Yeah.
We can skip Jake. He's not on Madden.
Seriously?
He's on NBA.
All right, we got one more. Or we got 2 more. We'll go the easy one first. Who is your all-cycle Semper Award winner? That's a good one. I think White Greg makes a push despite not being here as long.
Yeah, that's probably my pick.
Yeah.
I'm going to go as far to say is there's some times where it's like he is... I can't think of the word I'm trying to use, but it's like I want to mute him.
Cringeworthy.
Because it's insufferable. Insufferable is the word I was looking for.
I like him, but my favorite thing about him is when he'll have a conversation in the chat by himself. Like he'll go 20 minutes where no one's addressing or responding to it, and just keeps. It's one of the most entertaining things I get to watch sometimes. I love it.
Yeah, he's probably my favorite. Moji gets a lot of unwarranted votes for that award.
Just because I'm an asshole. So
it's also it's your personality.
People, they want to do everything they can to try to take shots, which is fine. I don't give a fuck. Like, bring them. I don't care. But if I say anything, I can be talking about the game or talking about the situation, and immediately it's like, oh, he's fucking crying about it. It's like, no, I'm having a discussion.
It doesn't come off as a perennial winner either. Like, when you're
all right, but like, I don't blame abilities. I don't blame shit like when Aston blames JP for running the same shit over and over. Like, I don't do things like that.
I think it has to.
That was so lame.
You know what I
He
mean?
did
Like,
not.
I don't say things like that. I don't say, "Oh, abilities won another game for him." Like, I don't do. Like, I'll talk about like, "Oh, that interception where the ball bounced 100 feet in the air and 6 guys touched it was pretty dumb." Guess what? That's a pretty dumb play.
That was ugly. I think it's good. I don't know. Silk always has the, leans on the things that like, what is anyone supposed to do about it? The abilities, calling people over their zone when they're most likely playing their zone. It's like, there's always something, and he'd probably be mine. But.
I'm the easy villain too because a lot of guys are worried about ruffling the feathers of other guys in the league. So they don't want to like start some bad blood. I feel, and I'm just the easy target, which is cool. Especially now that a lot of this shit is leaked. Like you've noted, like I didn't have as many votes for a lot of the things I get votes for, and my stuff has toned down because it's like, oh, you voted for Moji, no one's gonna say anything, so it's cool. So that's what
This is like a tell-all.
I mean, it's
kind of having your moment
facts. Here. Guys are scared now that their name is attached to something. The first season, we had like 4 blanks. Did we not?
We did have 4 blanks.
Anyone that's doing that.
But no. They PM me.
They are afraid.
They PM me and they say, "Oh, it was an accident."
Yeah, no.
Sure.
You're afraid
it was an accident.
to put your name to something. That's what it is.
Anyone who's afraid of calling anyone out in this league is a fucking pussy. I mean, it's like, if you're going to just fucking do it, no one gives a shit at the end of the day. Like, just.
So let's not let that off the hook quick. That Aston thing against JP after that game, that did not get as much.
Win.
That did not get as much of heat as it did.
Can you imagine? Just imagine if I said that.
Well, no, it's a perennial winner. He leads every category as a winner, right? He's got the most rings. He's got the best winning percentage. He's got whatever. And he has the nerve and the nuts to say that JP, who is consistently
a perennial most fun to play, like most fun to play.
Keeps running the same play in defense, like that.
Aston has a really bad salty streak whenever he gets.
He does.
Like it's one of the worst in the league, to be quite honest. But he doesn't lose often, so like people don't see it often.
You don't see it as much, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's almost like it has to be. It has to be something. He can't just get beat. Like, and a lot of people have that issue. Like, you don't want to just be like, I got beat by someone. But with him, it's like when that happens, there has to be something that was done that shouldn't have.
I mean, Aston, the biggest sore loser in the league. Is that fair?
Is he the biggest sore loser? On a day-to-day basis, yes. Mm-hmm. When he loses, you hear about it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm in the top 5. I hate losing.
I hate it more than I enjoy winning.
I think everyone, if you're going to be here, you have to hate losing. I mean,
no, clearly you don't.
Yep.
Yeah, losing stinks.
I just really hate losing more than I enjoy winning. I feel like the winning is supposed to happen, losing is not. So it's like, fuck. I hate.
There's certain people you like winning against, but
of course.
But yeah, the losing is way worse.
So Jake's victim complex will always say that I love to watch him fail and lose, which is like half true. The reason I like to watch him fail is because
of the meltdown that happens after.
Because Jake knew. Oh, look in the mirror. You just posted like a 5,000 word post about all your failures. It's brilliant to watch you lose. It's so great.
It's entertaining. I'm not gonna lie.
Absolutely. It's more fun when people lose and they melt down. There's no way around that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Beach, you should melt down more because you've got some funny takes, but you kind of just let things go.
Nah, Beach had a couple meltdowns last year.
Oh yeah, I got sick of losing last season. I did.
Zone.
I couldn't cover anybody in man. Couldn't cover anybody in zone. Couldn't get a pass rush. Couldn't throw the ball. Couldn't run the ball. Fuck. So eventually, yeah, I started typing a little bit. Couldn't take it anymore.
That's literally the reason I voted Adele least fun to play. It wasn't really for what he did. Is I was incapable of covering him on offense.
That shit is.
That was fun. That was a good game.
Like if I went into man, the drag, I'd be burned. If I went into the zone, he'd find something over the top. Like I couldn't do anything. I was just sitting there like, what the fuck am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
So,
sometimes it's beyond strategy. Like you are going to lose. There's nothing you can. I don't. There's just sometimes there's nothing you can do about it.
Roll the dice.
I mean, I think
That's right.
I should have at some point when he got an edge rusher to be with Kenny Clark. If I made any mistake this entire cycle, it was hoping Rashawn Gary or the other guy would end up being that guy, and they just aren't. I think if I had got that, it would have changed everything.
I'm guilty of that too. I feel you on that one.
Everybody's got that, right? Where like there's one move you could have made that would have changed everything.
Yep.
Right? Like everyone has that move.
There are several defensive linemen that I probably should have taken instead of taking like one draft. I took Terrence Hogan in the first round. He's an X factor linebacker, but he doesn't impact the game like some other guys would have. Solomon was my best pick of the cycle, but I mean he's an X factor QB. I'm happy with that, but he still doesn't impact the game as much as the defensive end would have. It's just crazy.
If you're following, not to totally change the subject, if you're following what's happening in the waiver wire chat right now and watching this at the same time, you would see Moji smiling as he typed in the chat, ripping Lefty. He was smiling.
I love trolling Lefty. He's one of the top 3 people. It's the easiest to get under his skin. And when you get under his skin, you know you're under his skin. It's fucking wonderful.
It is great, though, that he posted Austin Corbett, who stinks.
He's
like
awful.
3 times. Like 3 times on the block. Come get him. Come get him. He's available. He's terrible. And now he's got cut. I love it. Now you can have him for free. Oh, Cave's milking this because it's his last pick.
Yeah, end of an era. Let's go. Wow.
I'm here to tell you right now.
We don't care. We don't.
All right, we got time for this last question because this one's long. Stealing from the Sin Pod, who were your top 5 and bottom 5 this year? Start to finish. Top 5, bottom 5.
Overall users?
Yes.
Can we just start with top 1 and bottom 1? I mean,
top 1, bottom 1. That's a good start. Top 1 is Cave. I think that's a very easy answer.
Yeah.
I think it's the easiest answer of all. He exercised the demons. Right? Like Cave exercised the demons, won 2 titles, won how many seasons have we done? 7 or 8?
This is 8. Is this the 8th one? We've done 7.
So we're in 8. He's won 7 division titles out of 8. I mean, there's no doubt. I think he's the number 1. Anyone disagree with that?
No, I think Addison's at 2.
yeah, Aston at 2.
I'd probably put Adele 3.
3 might be too high for me.
Maybe
I would say 4 or 5.
4 or 5, yeah. That's
He
fine.
wasn't great early on.
Yeah, you did suck early on.
That first season was terrible, and I had a season where I went 5 and 11. So
Who's 3 then? I can't think of anybody.
Jake might be there. Jake might be there.
Jake may be like a number 5.
But he does not have a title, and not having a title hurts.
Yeah, but like if you're gonna put Jake, like I feel Jake's resume this cycle and Ian's resume this cycle are like super close.
I agree.
You know, Ian's had some great seasons here at the end. Like they're about the same.
He just hasn't made a Super Bowl.
It's just the hardware, right? So like putting someone with hardware is just an easier answer. But
No bowl, no top 5.
if you're going like the whole cycle, like each one once and then fell off the face of the earth. So like I don't put him in top 5.
Guess what though, Buckaroo? I got a fucking bowl. So I
You
don't
still
care.
suck though. Doesn't matter.
That shit falls off my shoulder now because I have a bowl. If
That's good.
I tell Jake he sucks, he can't say shit because he ain't got a bowl. Just like Kane couldn't say shit until he got 2 of them. So.
Now he's got 2.
I think you have to consider Lefty in the 5.
Top
You
5.
have to. He won a title. He's been very consistent.
He did
Very
win.
consistent.
Yeah, you can't
And
let
he probably,
bias get
outside of the NFC West and the AFC North, he probably has the toughest opponent that he has to play 2 times a year. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. Jake.
Yeah. I was gonna say beat on.
yeah. Beat Oven. Hey, he's beaten him a couple times.
I know he's beat Oven beats nobody except for his division opponents. It's like weird.
Remember when he beat Lefty and Jake in the same season?
Yeah,
That was so weird.
What did he win? 3 games that year, and
He
those
went-
were
yeah, he went
2
2
of
and
his
14.
3 wins.
Um,
Crazy.
But yeah, I would say lefties in the 5. I would say he's 5th. I think that this last season hurt him. I would say the lack of playoff success outside of his one run has hurt him. But being 5th is it's not a bad thing.
No, it's good. It's really
I
good.
would argue Ian in the 5.
Yeah, you could.
I would argue.
But the no bowl again is brutal, though. This makes
It's hard, Moji. I mean, you're in consideration, obviously. Making one right away.
I suck.
You rebuilt the team.
Moji, no
So
bowl.
who's the worst? Who's the worst one?
Silk is by far the worst user. It's not even close.
You think so?
Silk is the worst user we've had.
Turtles?
God bless his soul since
This
Corn went
season.
0-16
This
those
cycle.
few years in a row. This cycle, it is 100%. So
Look at the cat. What's the cat's
Silker
name?
Yeah.
Silker beat.
Winnie.
And I think Silk is the one because he destroyed his team and he had no plan.
He does it
clearly had
every
no plan.
cycle. Those Steelers last year were good out of the box, and they were horrific by the time he finished. He is a terrible GM. I'm sorry.
Well, to be fair, last cycle he was in a division with Spitta again, so I get it. Like, at that point, just blow it up. Like,
That doesn't affect him not retooling any of the roster.
well, shit, I'd blow it up too. I'd hate being in that division.
But you still want to put a good product on the field. He can't. The moves he makes just make my head hurt.
Not playing against him. At that point, all logic goes out the window. Listen, from the transition between Madden 18, when we were all in a division together, I was like, there's no way I'm being in a division with Spitta again. We go through the team draft for Madden 19, and Spitta ends up picking the Bengals after Silk picks the Steelers. I literally sent Silk a PM just laughing at him because I knew what was coming. I knew it was coming. It was fucking hilarious.
What's the rest of your bottom 5, though, Adele? Beat has to be in there.
Beats number 2. So Silk's 1, and I think
Silk's
it's
one in a
very-
landslide.
So I think here's Silk beats here. And I don't think it's mostly the on the field. I think it's his GM work.
Awesome.
I think that's
Horrific.
I mean, it's terrible. I don't think he puts any thought into what he does. I would say Mans. I think Mans it's as bad a year as you can have for a guy who,
I never thought when I joined that division that I would never worry about beating him.
no. And the thing that's too bad about it is it's like he says it. Like I know he says he doesn't have one foot out the door, but it's there, right? Like he clearly has a foot out the door. So that kind of puts another cherry on top to it. Man, it's tough. Who else has had a really bad year? I can't think of anyone besides those 3.
And there's people that kind of came and went that don't matter.
I'd probably put Glenn there
Yeah, that's a good one too.
for sure. Like, he just never really did anything to improve the team. And like outside of like gameplay wise, like I never understood the moves he made either. Like he was pretty much absent in free agency. You know, players he drafted never really developed into anything. Like he never really made any like positive moves towards building a team, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You guys talk about Metal at all? I really expected when Metal came back in to shake things up more than he did. I don't know if it's a bottom 5, but you know, it's been mediocre ever since he came back.
Another thing too about that same division, if Trent didn't go 8-8 last year, I think we'd be talking about him in the bottom 5. But he went 8-8, and now we forget that
I would still put him bottom 5.
Because if you look at that Broncos roster day one, it wasn't terrible, right? Like that defense is really good.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he had the Flacco thing and whatever, but you can build that offense in a year or 2. So I don't know.
Well, they had cap. They don't have a bunch of terrible contracts.
No, they don't.
So you got an X factor pass rusher. You got the number one thing you need, and Von Miller, and then you had
I can't remember if he had corners or not. Maybe Chris Harris was still pretty good.
Harris was there.
Lee was there too, right?
No, not this year.
Where is he now?
Miami.
Icom has to be bottom 5 as well.
Icom, yeah. Even though he took that. Oh, so let's, before we start getting into the year.
And fucking Stinky Jim. I'm sorry. That team at one point was the best roster in the game, and he was still not good.
This man right here ain't right.
Before the draft ends, could we discuss the fact that Pruitt came back to the league and he traded lefty Carradine? Why?
Pruitt's awful. He's awful.
Maybe Pruitt's in that 5.
Pruitt should be in that 5. He's terrible.
I think he's in the 5. I put him in the 5 before Trent.
He's not fun to play. He's not good at team building, and he's not good on the sticks.
I put Trent in the 5 before Pruitt. Trent was here longer, played like shit longer.
Trent had a good season last year.
He had one 8-8.
I promise you, there's not a fucking chance in hell that Pruitt's ever going in the game.
No.
So.
We're going to finish this last question, and then we're going to get out of this because we've been doing this for like 2 hours. This is actually pretty nice, though. Like, I agree with Pat. I think Pat said it right away that this should be the pod format going forward for anyone.
Makes it way easier.
It's a no-brainer, right?
Oh, it's super fun.
I can't believe this is free. Like, this is a free application. It's unbelievable. So I like this question a lot. I'm glad it got asked, and I'm actually going to spin it. So we'll spin it 2 ways. So the first one is, if you were a GM and you had to go to a coach, so like the 32 years are coaches, what team would be the worst team to GM with that coach? Like, who would it be bad to build a team for?
Like a coach in our league, like actual.
Yeah.
So, no matter who I give him, it doesn't matter. He's not going to fucking use them the right way.
I agree with you, and it's sad because even if you take the GMing skills out of his hand, it still would.
Right, so like beat Ovens, a thought that comes ahead, but it's like he's won some games he probably shouldn't have won. He's just terrible at GMing, so like he can't be considered.
I would probably say Glenn. Like, I don't think, even if you GM for him, I don't really think he's going to do anything with the roster.
I think you're onto something with that. Man, there's nothing better than the scramble to sign guys who aren't very good. Emoji, you got anything else for us? Any final thoughts?
I have no thoughts.
I'm pretty thoughted out. Anyone else got anything?
Good.
This was 2 hours and 17 minutes. This was a really good time. I enjoyed doing this.
Yeah, this made the draft go by quick, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks for everyone who listened. I say we do it again. This was fun.
For sure.
All right, gentlemen. Good luck in the final season.
All right, fellas.